Yeah. I'm going to say this. Well, I'm not. This guy said it better than anybody else. And I want you guys to understand something. He is absolutely spot on when it comes to this.
Donald Trump don't trust China. China is
Just want to put that out there. You guys didn't know that. And that comes on the fact that those guys tried to smuggle in stuff to destroy all of our crops.
And cattle.
And cattle. We already got issues with cattle and beef, right? Where is that from? Kroger? Whole Foods?
Yeah, distributed nationwide to Whole Foods.
Yes. So that's why when you hear them say, oh, China, I can't believe you do it. They're not our friends. They don't want to be our friends, period.
don't trust China.
I'm not going to, sir.
Yeah. The Communist Party doesn't want to be.
Yeah. I mean, they may want to be friends with us, but this dude tried to snuggle. Was it 4 or 5 of these things that would have, destroyed just about everything in its path?
Yeah.
My God. The hell are we doing? And we're still like, he's going to talk to him on Friday. What are we talking about? Honestly, dude, you don't like us. Everybody here is, this sounds horrible, but I'm going to say it. What the hell? Because people get mad at me all the time, so I don't care. Not everybody who is Chinese at a college is a spy, but pretty much every spy at a college is Chinese. That's it. We have to be honest with ourselves. This would have been a disaster. And yet we're like, oh, yeah, we should totally, still try to figure out some sort of good trade. No, I don't want to trade with them. Not with Xi in charge. They're not going to uphold their end of bargain. They're not going to do any of that stuff. No. Screw tariff them 500, 5,000, 10,000%. I don't care at this point in time. That would have been a nightmare. So if you guys haven't heard, in Detroit, in Michigan.
The U.S. attorney in Michigan is calling this the gravest national security concern. You have a Chinese national, a woman who's getting her postdoctoral fellowship at the University of Michigan. Her name is Young King Jian. This is the indictment that you see right here. Her boyfriend comes to visit, lands into Detroit, nonstop flight from Shanghai. They think there's something up with him, Customs and Border Patrol. They start searching him. He says he doesn't have anything. They ask him multiple times. And in his backpack, they find a killer fungus, something known as a terrorism weapon, something capable of taking out billions of dollars in livestock and crops and making people very, very sick.
Yes. And we're still going to talk to them about anything? They don't want to do anything but dominate the globe. How much farmland? Do you know how much farmland they own? And that's a question that's been that's really arisen over the last couple of days because of what took place in Russia with all of those drones. They own farmlands all over the country. States have now started putting things in place where, sorry, you guys can't own it. Companies, one of them in the Dakotas, right next to one of our big military bases, they have like 300 plus acres. And they said, no, you guys have to divest. You guys can't own this because the military came out and said, no. Guess what? They still own it. Still own it. This didn't happen, though, recently. This happened last year, this couple. And it's just now that people are getting around to this. I mean, you think eggs were expensive. Imagine if we lost all of our crops and all of our poor cattle would have lost their teeth or whatever. I don't know what this thing does to them, but it would have been bad. They're not our friends.
They are not.
They're not. They're not our friends. They don't want to be our friends. They want to dominate the globe.
Don't trust China.
I'm not going to, sir. I appreciate everything you do for me and the show here.
Yes,
God
sir.
bless you.
Yes, sir.
Because he knows, because he's from China and he says it all the time.
Don't trust China.
And I say, I 100% agree. Just insane. It is mind-boggling. And what are we doing? What are we doing? We wouldn't do this. The Soviets wouldn't have done this with us. We wouldn't have done it with them. It's crazy. If you go to North Korea, which some weirdos like to do, right? They'll go there, and you've got minders with you 24/7. They stand outside your door, right? Like if you go somewhere, everything is a show. They don't let you wander around anywhere. Here, we're like, come on over, steal all our IPs, do this, do that. Oh, Chad, it's being honest. If in a time of, and this is, they want to win. That's their goal. They want to win. We need to start acting like we want to win. Somebody said, what about Rodman? Well, that's a different story. He loved himself some Kim Jong-un. Dennis Rodman like Kim Jong-un. Just nuts. Just absolutely insane. What's going on in the world over there, Ken? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right, Brother Chad.
Anything exciting going on?
Nothing really exciting. You know, just trying to dig up some stories here, some news that you can use, as they say.
So, news you can use.
News you can use.
Somebody said, I don't care about the Republicans, WTF about me. No, I care about Americans more than I don't care about the parties. I care about the people.
Yeah, I care about me.
Yes. That's exactly it.
Me and my family.
Yeah. I care about the fact that I have a 6-year-old who's going to have to get 9 jobs to pay for all the debt that we've rung up over the years because people want to get reelected and they don't care about anything. We should all be on that same page. I've seen the big, beautiful bill. It's big. I've been through a lot of it. There's some stuff in there that we should all be uncomfortable with. And some of it's good, man. I like the fact we're going to strengthen the border. We're gonna be able to get rid of people fast. I mean, there's some stuff in there that's very good. That's great. But there's a lot of pork in there. And there's a lot of stuff that, like the AI bill where basically it's going to be centralized now in this bill.
Yeah,
So-
and did you see where Marjorie Taylor Greene said had she known that was in it, she wouldn't have voted for it?
Well, then why did you vote for it? I don't know. I didn't read it.
You got to read it, MTG. J or G? MTG, yeah.
At some point, did you think when that comes out of your mouth, talking about the fact that you haven't read it, at what point do you go, maybe I shouldn't, maybe I could see if I can grab that and bring it back? I don't know if that was the thing I wanted. I mean, it's 1,100 pages. So I get that you're not going to read probably everything. And a lot of it is, I've gone through and like a lot of it is just, your eyes will gloss over. Even when you read the AI stuff, it's crazy. But there's just, there's a revision in there that should bug everybody, by the way. And remember this, when I talk about this stuff, the Republicans are not always going to be in power. At some point in time, somebody else gets into power, and then what happens? Well, you don't like the stuff that now they've got it. Oh, and there's a provision in there. Now, it does, and again, what it looks like after it gets to the Senate, where Trump basically and the administration and the other administrations coming forward don't have to listen to the courts. They may be overruled, but there's no mechanism to stop them. And they can't use funds to stop them. So you just basically told them you put a strongly worded letter in their file. That's the best you can do. Oh, goodness me. Yeah, the Chinese farmland thing. I'm absolutely. Go look and see if you can buy land over there. First of all, they don't even sell land to their people. And certain areas that you can't have any land.
They're definitely not going to let an American buy land over.
You can lease something on their approval you have to give them all your info. You have to do it. You don't own it. Here, we're like, you want to buy some land?
There you go.
Can't you own a house there, but you can't own the land the house is built on?
Yeah.
Which means then they can take the house away from you at any time they want.
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's the. It's the same thing in Mexico. You don't own you own the house, but you don't own the property, the land. That Mexico owns it, and so every 100 years, you basically lease it again. You can own the house though, so that you keep. But if it's weird. But we do this. We allow this. We're like, come on over, buy some stuff. It'll be great.
Why in the world would we be allowing China to buy land here?
I don't know.
And why do we let them make our medicine?
Again, I don't know. Well, what's the deal? Well, because once everything went global, everybody was trying to do it the cheapest, best way they possibly could. Okay, I see having several different places where you produce stuff. I can see that. But why? COVID should have shown us the minute we got through COVID, we should have said, all right, number one thing we do,
Yeah.
we on board, onshore, on all of our stuff.
Yeah.
Should have been the number one thing. But no, we didn't do it. We didn't. It's fascinating.
That's going to be interesting because I'm seeing where President Trump is likely to speak with Xi at some
It's supposed to
point.
be Friday. I think.
Going to be Friday, it looks like. And I wonder if this dangerous fungus is going to come up.
It should.
It
Dude,
absolutely
and don't tell
should.
me that guy. Well, she's studying her doctorate, and he had to bring him over like that in his backpack. That's what he had to do.
Yeah.
Oh, good God! It is just I am fascinated by like us wanting to hurt ourselves when it comes to energy. Nobody else does. Well, they signed that Paris Climate Accord. Yeah, but all that Paris Climate Accord says is nothing. It says when they get to a certain level and they think it's okay, they'll try to cut back. We take it seriously. We try to hurt ourselves. We think because we're altruistic and kind that everybody else feels the same way.
Yeah. As far as climate goes, India and China could give a rat's ass.
Yeah, they don't get 100%. Like that's top story right there. Breaking news. They don't care. Do you think India's like, we should probably stop this? I know we have the 1.5 billion mouths to feed, but us becoming energy independent and all this kind of stuff, that's for the suckers, right? We're going to save the world. You clowns. Good God. But why? What the hell's wrong with us? Just insane. I'm just fascinated by like the farm thing. I was always fascinated. Then after you saw what happened to Ukraine, you're like, are we really still doing this? I had no idea how many of these companies, wink, wink, that are all associated with the CCP have hundreds of acres. Could you imagine? Do this today. Let's see if the Department of Defense or agriculture in America can go buy 500 acres of land anywhere in China. But we allow it. We allow it big time. Coming up. A lot of stuff to get to today. I've got crazy audio just for Ken.
All right.
I like crazy audio. It makes me smile. We got rid of Harvey Milk, finally. Most people don't even know who the hell Harvey Milk is.
I thought he was already dead.
He is dead. Sean Penn played him in a movie.
Yeah. It was actually a very good performance.
It was. He got an Academy Award for that, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, it did. And it was what kind of ship was it? I think it was like a refiller of some sort.
Harvey
USS Harvey Milk.
ship.
It was a destroyer.
It is.
Doesn't it refill things? Is that what it is?
Why is this not just popping up?
So
Everything else about Harvey's popping up, but not the ship.
Class. Let's see here. It is a John Lewis class replenishment oiler.
Oh, so it just
Just goes out and refills stuff.
refills things. It's carrying a bunch of oil.
That's it. That's all it is. We got rid of it. Because that is what we do.
We can't have that thing named after Harvey Milk.
No doubt. Instead, it's the Liberace. Coming up next, who knows what? I'm gonna run something by you guys because I heard something. I was listening to Bell. He was out there watching something on the old interweb, and I heard it. And I thought, what a bizarre thing that we have these old sayings. Talk about that, bunch of other things straight ahead. Chad Benson, Super Talk 997. Rough Greens, ruffgreens.com. Vitamins, minerals, probiotics, omega-3, 6, 9, all this incredible stuff packed out in an encouraging supplement to give your dog. And they have it for your cat as well, each and every day. It is spectacular. 1 scoop a day, supplement, top of your dog's food is going to change their life. Healthy, happier, bouncier. Those aches and pains in their joints, especially you take your dog for a walk, a little older, longer in the tooth, as they would say. What ends up happening? Right? You look and you're like, oh, poor guy, he's sore after a while. This is going to help them recover in ways you cannot believe. Try Jumpstart Trial Bag now. It's a $20 value. $20 value. you get it for free. Just cover the cost of shipping. Put it to the test. See what it can do for you. Ruffgreens.com/Chad. RUFFgreens.com/Chad.
Another arrest in the fertility clinic attack. President Trump says he spoke with Vladimir Putin for a little more than an hour today. We'll tell you what that was all about. Also, China's Communist Party appears to be trying to kill our cattle and our crops with a fungus. We'll tell you about it at 12:30 on Super
Don't
Talk
trust
99.7 WTF.
I'm not gonna.
No, sir.
Don't do it. If you speak to him, the first thing you should say, Xi, I spoke to my friend and he said,
Donald Trump, don't trust China. China is
that's what he said. I'm sorry, I can't do it. You tried to kill all of our cattle. It's not very cool, bro. Who you think you are? This is interesting. We have trouble dating in this world. You know this. This lady solved it for us. Crazy audio time, everybody.
All right.
One of my favorite forms of hetero is a very powerful straight woman that
By the way, hetero. One of my favorite forms of hetero, like heterosexuality. So just to let you guys know, there's only one form of that, but apparently there's more.
One of my favorite forms of hetero is a very powerful straight woman that absolutely hates men, that dates a little subby man that's afraid of her. Sister, you did that. I'm so proud of you. I'm just like watching a movie, crying, eating my popcorn, like, yes, this is the world we need to live in. And my take is that I think that for straight women, they're like, when am I going to find my person? Like, when am I going to find a nice guy? Step 1, do you hate men? Step 2, did you stop dating them? Step 3, it'll all work out. I promise you, in the long run, it'll be a beautiful thing. And if I know you've acquired steps 1 and 2, if I see you with a man, it's a good one. I know he treats you well.
Oh, my Lord. So you want a wuss, a beta, bitch boy. Just date a chick. I mean, one of my favorite heteros is when you date a guy that's most likely gay, and it's awesome. Yeah, and I need to tell everybody that because the internet's where I tell everybody everything. That's why I'm a 32-year-old woman, and even cats don't like me. Oh, my God.
I guarantee you wiener dogs won't like her either.
No, wiener dogs are very particular. They're very particular in who they like. How is our youngster?
Our little
good?
Fritz?
Yeah.
Our little Fritz is doing good. Going to get a haircut tomorrow. Oh. Yeah. Going to cut everything but his cut. We're going to leave the long hair on his ears and his tail and his toes.
Oh, look at
Everything
that.
else will be shaved.
He's going to look like getting ready for summer.
Yeah,
That
he'll-
summer dew.
And every time we do it, I'll send you guys a picture. Every time we get him shaved, they always leave two little curlicues on either butt cheek.
Oh, that's nice.
Got a little curlicue butt.
That's right. He wants to show the ladies.
Yeah,
when
that's
he's
right.
out for a walk. Pressing the. What's he like with other dogs?
He's not friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I had to stop taking little Fritz down to the dog park because Fritz was the one causing the trouble.
Yeah, we got a dog, Bowie. Our other dog, Red, is terrified of everything. The first 3 months we got him, if you go, hey, Red, you'd walk over to him, he'd piss on himself and roll over. So that's the kind of guy that she wants to date. But he doesn't do that much anymore. But like even when I go to put a leash on him, I go, Red, come on. He gets about 4 feet from me. Then he goes all the way onto his belly and then he just rolls over.
I had to deal with that every
Yeah,
time I
you
had
dealt with
to
him.
go take him out when you were out of town.
Oh my God. I'm like, Red, what is it? Now, Bowie, on the other hand, Bowie thinks he should fight everybody and every noise
Yeah.
is a fist fight.
And what's Bowie? What is he?
Pain in the ass. I don't even know. He's little. I think he's he might be part wiener dog and part chihuahua.
Oh,
He might be, he's something like
Chiweenie.
part terrier.
Is he the one that would growl at me on the couch?
Yeah, for no
Because
reason.
I would go to pick him up to take him outside, and he would, and I'd just scoop him up like he was nothing.
Yeah.
He'd be like,
He's like,
wait
"That's
a minute, that
right."
was supposed to intimidate you.
Yeah, you better watch out.
that's a little Chiweenie.
Yeah, those things they do. They like to throw down. I was walking by, getting ready to come in here, and Bell's watching. I don't know. He's watching something on the old YouTube, and I hear it's more than one way to skin a cat. And I thought to myself, what a bizarre thing to say,
Yeah.
right? Well, first of all, what are the origins of that? Well, you have to go back a long way because I found that out for you. That's what I do. The first time anybody saw it was maybe the 1600s. But Dickens' Bleak House suggested a broader tradition of feline-related idioms in this, where it kind of became part of the colloquial world that we live in of our speech. But they said it's probably more apt to, it's more than one way to skin a catfish.
Ah.
Because skinning a cat is weird. What is this,
Who'd
Ohio?
wanna- yeah, who'd want to do that to a little kitty?
I don't know. That's bizarre. Because it does. It makes you think, is that, it's like, it's, wait, what again? Like, you want to do what? Yeah, skin a cat. Because I watch all these old British television shows and stuff, like the period pieces, and they're funny to watch because they're like, oh, yes, very much so. Mm-hmm. And you think, did they really skin a cat back then? They might have. You ever watch any of those old shows and you think, man, we are so lucky to live in this time?
Yes.
Like, I know it's not real, but man, could you imagine living back then? How horrible it was. The smells. Oh, God. No toilets.
Oh.
Hell, just think going back to the 50s when not every house had air conditioning.
God, I couldn't even imagine that. Or a refrigerator.
Yeah.
It's like, woo.
Yeah, they just bring you a big old block of ice.
A block of ice, right? Like,
And people were still doing laundry on washboards.
oh, good God.
Yeah, and they didn't have disposable diapers.
No.
They just had cloth.
No. Although, you know what? My mom didn't do disposable diapers with my little sister.
Oh, yeah?
She had one of those, like, stork things where they bring the cloth diaper and
Oh,
stuff.
okay. Yeah.
But you put it in this thing and then they come take it away.
They take care of it.
Yeah,
for
not her. I mean, it wasn't. We weren't that poor. So, but oh God, I watch those shows and I'm just like, oh, how horrible with that. And if you sprain your ankle, you may be dead. That's the other thing. We can't fix him, guys. He sprained his ankle.
Well, I think simple appendicitis was killing people up until the 50s. Maybe even in the 50s.
See how blessed we are, people? Now we're talking about AI fixing everything before it destroys us all. Coming up, we got some more stuff. Maybe we'll talk a little bit more about the Chinese. The big, beautiful bill's not so big. Bunch of other good stuff. If you miss any of the show, we always say shame on you. Get the podcast. It is Chip and Joe, Super Talk 99.7.
12:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast in 5 minutes. Authorities in Palm Springs, California say they made another arrest related to the fertility clinic attack last month. The attempted bombing killed the initial suspect and the clinic's building was destroyed. Embryos in the clinic were saved, moved to another location. Here's ABC's Jacqueline Lee.
25-year-old Guy Edward Barkis is the suspect for this car bombing incident in Palm Springs. And when officials executed the search warrant at his home in 29 Palms, they say they discovered writings that indicated nihilistic ideology and that perhaps he thought it was morally wrong to bring children into the world. They think that may point to a motive.
President Trump says he spoke to Russian President Vladimir Putin for about an hour and 15 minutes today. Trump says Putin told him Russia will have to respond to the recent attack by Ukraine on those docked bomber jets. Trump says they also talked about Iran and believes that he and Putin agree that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Senior administration officials say President Trump's likely to speak with Chinese President Xi at some point this week. Comes as both countries are accusing one another of undermining the temporary trade truce on tariffs. And, of course, tomorrow the president will be moving forward with these plans to now increase tariffs on steel and aluminum imports, raising them from 25 to 50%. It also comes as the Justice Department says 2 Chinese nationals smuggled a fungus into the U.S. that's known to kill crops and be harmful to humans. The 2 suspects allegedly receiving Chinese government funding for their research. Former senior Pentagon official and ABC News contributor Steve Ganyard says the risk the fungus poses to the country and its economy are very real.
You had a member of the Communist Party who had a Chinese researcher working for her in a U.S. university on a pathogen that is known to be deadly to crops and to human beings. Why were they doing it? Why did they lie?
Got to find that out. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Your Retirement Ready Toolkit is ready for you. Why do you need a Retirement Ready Toolkit? Well, because you're retiring, and are you really ready? Because you think, oh, it's just about dollars and cents. You know, my investments, is that the other? Can I survive? You know, I don't want to outlive. No. It's more than that. It's taxes. It's estate planning. It's health care. It's so much more. And that is where our good friends at Beacon come in. I want you to do this. Call them today, 615-488-9303. They're going to get you out a Retirement Ready Toolkit. You're going to get a Money Enough for Life book, a retirement planning checklist, and a Maximizing Your Retirement Income white paper. No cost, no obligation, no pressure, and they're local, which is great. They're a full-service investment advisor, and they want to work for you in all aspects of your retirement. Call them today. Don't dread about taxes, estate planning, running out of money. Have Beacon take care of that for you. Call Beacon today, 615-488-9303, or online at AskBeaconNow.com.
Weather can change in an instant, and you need to be prepared for any outcome. That's why Generator Supercenter of Nashville will help keep your family safe and connected. We make buying a backup generator simple and easy, with financing options available, free in-home estimate, turnkey installations, no worry warranty, and most importantly, the monitoring and service of your fully installed generator. Come see us at our location in Nashville or visit us online. Generator Supercenter of Nashville. We serve all Middle Tennessee.
Yeah.
There we go. Yes, sir.
By the way, we're all going to be out there June 17th with bells on. It's another one of those weird saying. I'm going to be out there with bells on. Why? Why'd you wear bells? What the hell are you wearing bells for? What are you, an elf? It's going to be a lot of fun. King's Bowl. So the last time we were out there, we played we played pool. It was you and I, Bell, right? Against Matt and
Matt and
Dave?
our sales manager, Dave. And I don't remember much about it except embarrassing myself immensely.
Yeah, I remember that too.
What happened?
He's not very good at pool.
Oh, I haven't played in forever.
Short of tearing up the felt.
Yeah, that's the only thing I could have done worse.
So, which would have been hilarious, but it didn't happen. But it's going to be cool. So come on out. And again, there's going to be a booth. It's Hug a Dan Day. So
Yeah, going to have
Every day is Hug a Dan Day.
every day is. But this is a special day where you get to hug him.
Hug a Dan booth.
That's so awesome. We should have a booth out there that just says Dan on it. Dan's like, it's for you, dude. And he sits there, and people just come by and hug him. Don't tell him though.
And he can't do anything about it.
Not a thing. Like you know what he really likes? He tells me all the time. I wish more people would invade my space.
Yeah, he's not a big fan of. I mean, he loves that close coziness with his listeners.
Yeah. When we went out to that thing with Busy Bee, and I remember, so we finished, and he was getting something for his wife. I think he was in line to get something, and my wife and I are walking, and this guy just goes, Dan, and just hugs him, and it was so awesome. It was worth everything. I was like, this is worth it. This is worth it, kids. All right, here, we're going to talk about the big, beautiful, ugly bill just for a second. On your mark, it's set, go. There we go. What'd you guys think of it? Is that good? Is that a good one? It's ugly.
Cleared that up.
Yeah, it's ugly. It's big. All right.
Congressional Budget Office estimates the House-passed version of the bill would increase annual deficits by $2.4 trillion over a decade.
No
New
big
Medicaid
deal.
rules would increase the ranks of the uninsured by nearly 11 million people. At a news conference, House Speaker Mike Johnson was pressed on Elon Musk's outspoken opposition to the bill.
Well, I'll tell you, I called Elon last night and he didn't answer.
Johnson says he has spoken to President Trump.
He's not delighted that Elon did a 180 on that.
Sources say Musk has privately complained about provisions eliminating EV tax credits.
Yeah, it's ugly. That's all you need to know. This is not the Republicans doing something to better the middle class.
He's whining that he's losing his electric vehicle tax credits.
Yeah, he's getting his ass kicked.
That's waste.
Well, here's one thing. Has he done a 180 on this? I mean, has he ever supported this bill?
No,
I don't think
he
I've heard
supported cuts.
Right.
He wanted cuts, but he got mad because nobody would seem to want to codify anything.
Right. That's okay.
Right. You know, there's a portion of people. Maybe I'm wrong. I think there's a portion of people out there who I think want Trump to be like Xi in some ways, where he's got the ultimate authority. So that way, stuff they think gets done, and Congress doesn't have to make a decision because everybody gets frustrated with Congress. Well, Congress is there for the people. Unfortunately, with the people we send are idiots for the most part. But it's frustrating. What was it? Was it Jack Kennedy that said, I went into I went into state, local. There was no power there. I went into to Congress, to the Senate. There was no power there. Then I became the president of the United States, and I realized there was no power there. And that's the whole point, that not everybody has ultimate power. But I don't think Elon was ever for this thing the way that he wanted to see the stuff he was trying to put in be implemented, and it's not.
They're irritated that he's still not being the rah-rah cheerleader for Trump.
He's not. His platform, much like Trump's platform, Elon's platform's huge. And have you ever been on Elon's X feed?
Oh, yeah.
Does he work? Or does he just do X all day?
I think he only sleeps like 3 hours a night.
Yeah, he does. Well, because he's on ketamine. And what was the other stuff he's on? Ketamine. They said he was on all kinds of stuff.
Adderall?
Oh, yeah, Adderall. He was on a lot of Adderall. So CBO with their liberal slant. You know what? Go look. I went through Penn Wharton, the Tax Foundation, conservative and Democrat, and the CBO. Go look at all the reports. None of them say this does anything to reduce the deficit. It says the exact opposite. It adds to it. Some of it's 1.8 trillion, others is 2.3 trillion. Let's cut the difference. Say it's 2 trillion. It's not a revenue problem. When they say, well, to pay for your tax cuts, you pay for your tax cuts because revenue comes in. It's your spending. That's the problem. It's your spending that cost us money. God, it drives me crazy. It shouldn't be this hard, but it is. Case in point, Ron Johnson of the Fighting Ron Johnsons.
Every analysis I have, there's greater upside risk to that deficit. Interest rates are moving up. If we go increase interest rates 1%, that's another $4 trillion over 10 years in terms of deficit. If we don't replace the $4 trillion, that's $4 trillion of lost revenue. Again, and growing the economy 3%, it adds to it a little bit, but mostly in the out years. So again, come to the table, let's look at the numbers. If I'm wrong, prove that I'm wrong, but let's do it with respect, but mainly respect for our children and grandchildren. This is immoral, what us old farts are doing to our young people. This is grotesque what we're doing. We need to own up to that. This is our moment. I can't accept this scenario. I can't accept it, so I won't vote for it unless we are serious about fixing it.
And I don't know if they're serious about fixing it. I don't think they are. I think at the end of the day, Trump wants his tax cuts. I got no problems with tax cuts. I have zero problems with it. If you want to have tax cuts, knock yourself out. I don't know if the ultra wealthy need them, but when it comes to some of this other stuff in there, we should all have a problem. Right or left, this is an American thing. And if you've got some of this stuff, the AI stuff, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on that I'm uncomfortable with. Just the Palantir thing, which we're going to get to later. I don't know if you guys have seen that, the Palantir, what they're doing, but this massive database that they want to build is huge. And if you care about privacy, if you care about any of that stuff, you would pay attention. That's not a conservative thing. This is feels like, oh my goodness, they're getting every ounce of data that they can get from us. This is just common sense. The beauty of our country is we should be pushing back against some of this stuff. Absolutely. Meanwhile, I like crazy audio. That's why I get crazy things. Guys, it wouldn't be a Wednesday if I didn't have a white woman telling me how horrible white people are.
Yes. No, people other than white people cannot be racist. Racism is a term that refers to the concentration of power among a certain group of people who then use that to exploit and oppress other groups of people. Yes, people who aren't white can be prejudiced towards other groups of people, but they can't be racist. Because of things like colonization, imperialism, and white supremacy, power is concentrated primarily into the hands of white people both then and now, which is why certain systems that exist now are inherently racist, such as the prison industrial complex or police departments around the country. And that's why a lot of white people are racist, because their family members were racist, because their great-grandparents were racist, and so on. It's the concentration of a lot of power into the hands of a few based upon their skin color. However, intergroup prejudices exist. So that's why you'll see people say, hey, I am this race, and I find that these people of this race are rude to me outside of white people. Because these individual prejudices still exist, and yes, they are still harmful. They just don't have a societal impact in the way that racism from white people does.
Racism from white people. It's always the white. It's always, you know what I like to? It's always the white women telling us what to do. Exactly. It's racist. She's sweet.
Who are these people, man?
She has got a huge following.
That's terrifying.
And these people cheer her on outside, of course, evil men. They cheer her on all the time. Like, you're speaking the truth. You know who cheers them on? Other white liberal women. That's who. That's exactly it. And you're right. Like, I could never even if I believe that, you know what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to go spew that to everybody. That's ridiculous. Nobody wants to hear that crap. But they think they do. Meanwhile, here are some guys who are white and Asian and Pakistani, and they're just hilarious.
Whatever happened to Stop Asian Hate?
What's that?
You know, Asians and racism.
I'm only racist sometimes.
No, other groups being racist to you.
You mean Chinese?
No, white people in North America being racist to Asians.
I don't notice it.
Hey, maybe there should be a Stop Brown Hate.
Nah, there's too many types of brown. It wouldn't work.
Well, we can separate it. There could be a Stop Indian Hate.
I'm Pakistani. My parents would hate that.
Okay, well, how about Stop Middle Eastern Hate?
They're more of like a dark olive.
My point is that there should be a Stop All Hate campaign.
Like All Hate Matters?
hate everyone equally.
No, like no racism. We end racism.
That's not realistic. You gotta hate somebody.
Hating everybody is still racist.
Not if it's equally distributed.
Amen. Those guys were so funny. They take it on because it's hilarious. Because they find out how ridiculous this stuff is. And they're joking. She was serious. She's what DEI was built for. I bet you she works for a. What do you bet? She's got pronouns in all of her stuff.
Oh, definitely.
That chick has so many pronouns you don't even know, and she's an ally. I guarantee you, she's an ally. Like I'm an ally. Like during World War II, we allied with some people, and the other ones they allied the axis of evil, but we were the opposite. We're the allies of the good, right? Or are you just a regular old ally? Which is the dumbest thing, too. Some of that stuff they use. Good God. Coming up, a lot of stuff still to squeeze into. Got some of your text messages. Some of you go, it's interesting because I think some of you are starting to see the spending bill and you realize it's a spending bill. And that's what it is. It's not, we're going to fix this. We're not sorting it out. And no matter how much we bring some stuff up, it's still, we're going to find a way to outspend it. We should be slowing this damn thing down, and we're not. And that should frustrate all of us because my kids are going to have to work forever. They're going to have to find a way to keep people alive forever to pay for the debt. Just to let you guys know that. If you missed any of the show, we always say shame because we're fun. And Bell, tell everybody, if they want to text at us, yell at me, Bell, even Ken, what do you do?
615-737-9986.
Amen, brother. It's Chad Bench Show. So we talk 997. Birch Gold, I want you to text the word Benson to 989898 today because gold is a great thing to have. Now, whether you're thinking to yourself, yeah, I'd like to do something with gold, protect yourself, right? Just in case things go a little sideways, whether in the economy, global issues, the dollar in it itself, and the shakiness of some countries would like to see it crushed. So you protect yourself with gold. So what are you waiting for? It's a free info kit. They're going to talk about how you can move over tax-free, an IRA or a 401k and get it backed by precious metals like gold, or maybe you just want to own the physical. Birch can help you with that as well. So do this. Text the word Benson now to 989898 today. They get you out that info kit, no hard sale. They're my gold company, the ones I go to, A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. I trust them big time. It's Birch Gold. Text the word Benson now to 989898 today for Birch Gold. So summer's not too far away, and you've got that little bit of extra around you, and you think, I'd like to get rid of it. Contours is amazing. They're going to help you contour and look fantastic. Maybe you've taken some of those weight loss medicines, and you've got a little bit of extra flap. Get rid of it with Contours. It's great. So first, we can do all we can. You can eat right. We can do a lot of stuff, but sometimes there's just that stuff that sticks around there. With Contours, you can go in and you're going to start losing inches right away. In fact, their Ultra Slim Body Contours guarantees you 2 inches on your first visit, or your treatment is free. Totally non-invasive, very relaxing. You sit under the lights, and it's just so cool. Woo! And then all of a sudden, your skin starts to feel better, and then next thing you know, shirts feel better, you look better. It's incredible. They do facial, do all kinds of stuff. Get over and see them today. If you're sick and tired of having that tight shirt, those pants, Contours is going to help you get to where you want to get with your body. Check it out. Call them, 615-236-9960. 615-236-9960, or visit contoursllc.com to schedule today.
Trump and Putin phone call. China's Communist Party may be trying to kill U.S. crops and cattle. And we'll tell you what Canadian wildfire smoke and Sahara dust have in common for the U.S. coming up at 1 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
So just a PSA for anybody on EBT that has been paying for your nails, lashes, whatever it may be, with your EBT card, you can no longer do that. No. I just went to go get my nails, lashes, and eyebrows done. Went to go swipe my EBT card, and she tells me they no longer accept that. So not only are they taking away junk food, sugary drinks, they are giving us all a time limit with how long we can be on EBT. Now you can get your nails done with EBT. So I had to use cash out of my pocket for my nails and eyebrows. So now I'm $100 short on my freaking rent that I'm supposed to pay today. They need to figure something out, because this is not okay.
It's not okay.
So entitled.
You know what's funny? So you sometimes go, is this person real? No, she's real. And she's...
It's not her fault, man.
No.
She had to get her nails done.
Well, of course, as we all do. I needed a fill. You know what she didn't do? Go to the dentist. This is what she needed. Does EBT work on that? How about those apples? Yeah, she was missing some teeth. It was a struggle. I don't care how beautiful you think you are. If you're missing some chompers and you're young, like when you're my daughter, she's missing a few teeth. She's 6. It's cute.
Yeah, that's cute.
At 30, you're like, that person's made poor choices.
Well, some hot looking nails makes up for a few missing teeth.
Not that much.
Hot-looking nails.
Hot-looking nails. Getting her eyelashes did. You ever seen some people I love when they get their eyelashes? They're just, it looks like a tarantula landed on their eyelashes. Yeah. And then they put the gooping on.
Dude, that's what cracks my wife and me up is, we're big fans of the Naked and Afraid franchise on Discovery.
Yeah.
And those ladies, man, I mean, they still got their eyelashes 15 days into the challenge.
How?
I
Well,
don't
it
know,
stays
man.
on.
It just stays on, man.
It's big money if you can get it, right? If you know how to do it.
I mean, you may be naked, but
you're not that afraid.
They definitely want you to see those eyelashes.
Well, let me tell you something. If you're out there, you may be naked, but you want to slay. Oh, you know what? Think about it. How much do you want to be on TV that you're willing to walk your fat ass around in the middle of godforsaken nowhere and do something you're ill-equipped to do, like hunt and fish with a stick?
Or show off your body.
Yeah, or show off your body.
Well, this one we're watching right now, this is like, it's the last one standing. It's the third installment. It's the so-called Naked and Afraid, savages who are out there. They give them like bows and arrows and knives and then pots to boil water in.
They're savages.
But they're in Australia. This is the first one in Australia.
It's all, are you naked and afraid? You're like, I'm 2 hours from Sydney. How naked and afraid could I be? I'm worried people are going to recognize me.
I'm a savage.
Savage. I love how it's like naked and afraid. Savage. And the Aboriginals are like, what's going on here?
Yeah. You don't want to mess with that, mate.
No, I wouldn't get any of that, mate. That's not a good one, right? That's a funnel whip.
That porker, That Parker has an 8-inch tusk.
Good God. But people are they'll do anything, right? Like, that's just it. And it used to be people willing to do some silly stuff. Now people will go and do the dumbest things in the world because they want to be famous.
Well, have you seen, I'm sure you've seen it, but have you seen these people who will eat like spoiled sardines on social media to see how long they can hold them down?
How do you tell they're spoiled?
When they come back up?
Well, that's true.
Oh, okay.
First of all, they're sardines, which is a stupid thing to eat anyways.
That's rough business, dude.
It is. That is super rough business. Coming up, hour number 2 of the program. You're listening to the show, grab the podcast. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7.
One o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got a crash on the right shoulder, slowing things down westbound East Loop downtown there at Jefferson Street, 1st Street exit. Also in Murfreesboro, TDOT reporting the right lane is blocked by a crash, 24 eastbound at Medical Center Parkway. And then looking in Glencliff here, got the left shoulder blocked by a crash, 40 westbound at Spence Lane. Full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. President Trump says he had a conversation with Russian President Vladimir Putin today.
President Trump says his phone call with Russian President Vladimir Putin lasted an hour and 15 minutes. He called it, quote, a good conversation, but not a conversation that will lead to immediate peace. He said the two presidents discussed Ukraine's Sunday attack on Russian airfields and writes, quote, President Putin did say, and very strongly, that he will have to respond. Russia and Ukraine held talks on Monday in Turkey, but the attacks have intensified. U.S. officials said they were disappointed, but not surprised by the substantial list of demands Russia said must be met before it would agree to a 30-day ceasefire. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
So senior administration officials say President Trump's likely to speak with Chinese President Xi at some point this week. It comes just as the Justice Department today says 2 Chinese nationals smuggled a fungus into the U.S. known to kill crops and be harmful to people.
They're alleging that they tried to smuggle a very dangerous fungus into the United States, one that annually causes billions in damages in crops around the world. And if consumed by humans, can cause vomiting, birth defects, and other types of illnesses, including liver damage. So they're saying that this is a national security matter, and they're treating it as such.
Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas reporting. An additional arrest in the case regarding an attempted bombing of a fertility clinic in Palm Springs, California. Bill Saley, the U.S. Attorney for the Central District there.
My office and the FBI are announcing the arrest of Daniel Park, a Washington state resident charged in a federal criminal complaint with Title 18, United States Code Section 2339A, providing and attempting to provide material support to a terrorist.
Yeah, they're claiming that he helped 25-year-old Gary Bartkus, who was the only fatality in the bombing last month, but people at the clinic were hurt. Authorities say he and Park had an extreme nihilistic ideology and were against people having children. 4 days into hurricane season, meteorologists are watching not a tropical storm, but a huge beige blob on radar images of the Atlantic and Caribbean. Here's Jim Ryan in Texas.
Like a tropical storm, a massive cloud of Saharan desert dust has been carried by upper-level winds thousands of miles west to the U.S. In the next few days along the Gulf Coast, people with pre-existing lung conditions will see it and feel it.
We would expect difficulty breathing, shortness of breath, cough, and increased sneezing.
Houston physician Jennifer Ukwu, one benefit of these occasional Saharan dust clouds is that they prevent tropical storms from forming. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
That is the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
So, hey, Ken, did they arrest that guy in California, the nihilistic, don't have children?
No, I believe he was arrested at JFK in New York.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that guy blew himself up. That didn't go the way he thought it was going to go, huh?
No, it did not.
He couldn't even live stream himself blowing up.
Yeah, he got rid of himself, so he satisfied his desire.
Yeah, that's right. He's one of those people that would I'm going to sue my parents because they never asked me if I wanted to be brought into this world.
Yeah.
So, because there's a weird movement out there like that. Oh, you shouldn't have kids. I'm like, why? Because it's destroying the planet. No, it's not. The planet will get rid of us when the planet is ready to get rid of us. And then it'll be like, I'm done with you. So here's this. Unless, of course, you're in America and we're like, hey, if there's some sort of Chinese spies that could bring in some stuff, that'd be fantastic. Which is just insane. They were so close. And if you guys haven't heard, this couple, I'm sure they were deeply. How do we even know they're a couple? That's the funny thing, too, because it's China. She had signed all the paperwork. They wanted to bring in this agro weapon that would have, this fungus that would have not only killed crops, but also made burgers. I mean, we're getting ready to open up a new In-N-Out burger. We wouldn't have. Couldn't do it. Because these people wanted to kill all of our stuff.
He later admits that he was taking this fungus to his girlfriend, to his Chinese girlfriend, who is doing her postdoctoral fellowship at the University of Michigan. The feds start digging through their cell phones, all of the apps that they have, the Chinese apps that they've been using to communicate, where it's all crystal clear. They had planned this out, that he was going to bring the fungus from China into Detroit and then to the University of Michigan. They figured it all out, the feds, thankfully. They are now charged with a number of things: conspiracy, smuggling, making false statements, also visa fraud, because the boyfriend was coming in on a tourism visa.
As opposed to a biochemical hazard, kill all of our crops visa? Do they have one of those? I don't think they do. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, I think it's interesting that this happened in July of last year. And the charges just came now. Why it took so long? Did it take the Trump administration to come in and push these charges? We don't know, but it took almost a year. And you made a good point about her not just being a postdoctoral fellow. I was going through the indictment, Leland. She received money from the CCP. She received research money from the CCP. She had to sign off on a form saying that she adhered to the 4 basic principles of the Communist Party of China, had to express love for the motherland, not smear the motherland. This is the woman who is now working at the University of Michigan.
Good times.
Don't trust China.
I am not. I've decided not to trust China whatsoever. And, Mr. President?
Donald Trump, don't trust China. China is
Well, there you go. I mean, that's how we should lead the phone call with Xi. We are so dumb. We are. And you got to come up with something better than Trump's a racist. Like when he says, I want to get, the Chinese students, these people shouldn't be coming. Oh, well, no, that's wrong. Let's be honest of who we're facing here for just a second. This is a country that wants to do what? Dominate the globe. And what have we done? Well, we're going to treat them nice because they're going to treat us nice. Well, you know what they've done? They bought so much farmland.
We've been talking about it for years now on News Nation. The drone strike in Russia has definitely started a new conversation about the vulnerability of our military equipment, especially when you think about it, and you just showed the map, how much farmland China actually owns very near military bases in America. Look again, this map shows all the farmland, this is very specific here, that China owns across the country, 370,000 acres of land, some of it very close to secret military bases. You see it literally goes from coast to coast, from California to Florida to Georgia to South Carolina to North Carolina. And look in North Dakota there, Grand Forks Air Force Base. This is one that I've been looking at very closely for the last 2 years. I was there a few years ago. This is video that we took out there in the winter when a company named Fufeng bought the land and planned to build a corn mill there. Well, the Air Force called it a national security risk. The project was shut down. But what's shocking is just today I learned that Fufeng still owns the land in North Dakota. It's just miles from the base.
You don't want the Fu and the Fang to own anything. Not here. I mean, we don't even, was it LinkedIn last year said, all right, we're not going to operate in China anymore. We just can't. The restrictions are too much. And yet we let Fufeng buy a bunch of stuff. Fufeng. Not the Foo Fighters. Fu and the Fang. And we allow it. Now, they're supposed to divest, but what do you bet they haven't? Oh, wait, they haven't.
Does Fufeng still own the land in North Dakota?
Yes, they do still own I believe it was 371 or 317 acres that, according to North Dakota state law, should have been divested 2 years ago. The Attorney General was responsible to make that happen when there's a foreign land purchase and the building doesn't go through, but that never happens.
So even after the Air Force called it a national security risk, still today, years later, that Chinese company still owns the land. The concern in North Dakota and with all this Chinese land is what happens if a drone is launched or some kind of other surveillance equipment so close to these military bases. At the end of last year, we saw reports of several mysterious drones popping up near military bases in very close proximity to the Chinese-owned farmland. And while the drones were never confirmed to be owned or operated by China, the sighting sounded the alarm for defense officials and lawmakers concerned for our national security, as you can imagine.
As they should be.
Don't trust China.
I'm not going to. Just frustrating. Just frustrating. Absolutely. And we continue to allow it to happen. We continue to allow it in certain places to own because we think, you know what it is? It's the same kind of thing that gets your ass bitten when you go and you try to pet a tiger or you try to stand next to the moose because you think it wants a selfie with you because it knows that you're a vegetarian and gluten-free. That's what you're getting here. And it's just, it's a shame that we're in that position where we feel like, we're trying to divest in certain areas. We're trying to make them sell in certain areas. No, if we can't do it, they shouldn't be able to do it. And yet, here we are. There you go. Meanwhile, we have a giant, big, beautiful, stanky bill on the Hill.
The White House is dismissing the Congressional Budget Office estimate of the Republican bill, saying the CBO is, quote, not using a realistic current policy baseline to calculate its numbers. Trump Budget Director Russ Vought said in a social media post that the One Big Beautiful Bill reduces the deficit by $1.4 trillion over 10 years, despite the CBO saying it would increase the deficit by $2.4 billion over a decade. On Tuesday, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt slammed the CBO as, quote, partisan and political, and said the White House was confident in its own economic analysis of the bill.
I'm not. And there's a lot more to it than just the spending. By the way, if you dig in deeper, there's a lot more to this big, beautiful bill that's just big. Take Elon out of it. It's just big. They overspend, yeah, but there's a bunch of other things in here that, from AI and regulations to what they want to do potentially with taking away the mechanism for courts to enforce anything when it comes to the executive branch. There are things in there like, no, but it's just big. And we should be able to be honest in this situation. Great that you want to have, we're spending way more money on the military. We need to spend wiser, not more. We get these contracts and we hand them out to people. Sometimes there's not even a bidding process. It's just give us whatever you think is fair. And it's the government. So they'll print money. You don't care because your donors are happy. You're bringing back some jobs and you're going to get reelected. At the beginning of the show, I said, because I was watching somebody say, well, this really isn't good for the Republicans if they don't get this through. It's not good for America. Remember, it's about us. These things are about you and I. They're about Ken. They're about Belle. They're about our kids. They're about our grandkids. That's what they're about. It's not the Republicans. I mean, I said it last hour. We're going to have to find a way to keep kids alive longer into adulthood, into super adulthood, so they can pay off all the debt. There's a tweet that went out earlier. Somebody said, not Jerome Powell. And it showed the debt from 1994 up to today, $36.2 trillion, and this is going to add to it. That can't make us feel good. It just can't. That is just That's absurd. And again, take Elon out of it, because that was a stunt that didn't go the way I think they wanted it to go. What was the latest? Okay, here's one. I don't know if you guys have ever heard this on the internet. This is one of my new favorite ones on the internet. The black eye theory. Have you seen the black eye theory? So did you see Elon had a black eye?
Oh, really?
And the theory is he wasn't getting with the program, so somebody gave him a black eye. And if you see, and then they start pointing out people that have also got black eyes, and they change their tune. And I'm like, you're not being serious, are you? And there are people out there that are serious. I'm sure one of you is going to chime in a minute. I've been called a libtard. So let you guys know, because I don't.
I'm sorry. I was feeling very emotional in that moment. I apologize.
It's okay. I love that. Like, you're liberal. Why? Because you don't like this.
You didn't validate what I think.
Yeah. No, this is ugly. This is your money too. This is all your money. This is my money. This is our kids' money. This is what this is. When is it not, well, we're going to get it all back, and they said so. They all say it. I've yet to go, have you ever had somebody go, hey, guys, we're going to pass this bill? It is so awful. It is going to ruin us. No, they all say the same thing. This is going to be solid. Because they can't be honest.
You've got millionaires making decisions on money.
Yes, for billionaires.
For billionaires.
So they can continue to stay millionaires and grow their wealth while billionaires continue. If you want to focus on the middle class. Win the middle class. Pay for this thing the right way. If you want more money for the military, pass an audit. Those are things that we should be asking for. Pass an audit. That's, by the way, at any time, pass an audit. Where you go, you know what? We're missing $2 trillion. Does anybody know where that went? No, me either. That's crazy, right? Give me some more. That's not a good thing. Now, if you come out and you say, look, we've got special laser beams that the aliens gave us, and it took us a lot of money to get there, but now nobody can do anything to us. Okay, but you're not. You're not. What you do, you give your friends big contracts. They produce stuff in places where they sit in warehouses forever because we don't use them and they're obsolete. And then we try to sell them to somebody else. That's not a way to treat our men and women in uniform. Coming up, got some more crazy audio for people out there, because it's Crazy Audio Wednesday, where we listen to wild people go to the internet and say the dumbest things because, yes, that's what you do. That's who you are. And you know what? We expect you to do that because it makes us smile. If you're missing the show, grab the podcast. It is Chad Benson Show. Super Talk 99.7. Bulwark Capital right now wants you to get a second opinion on all the things going on with your investments and your retirement. How? Simple. Go to Bulwark Capital, right? You can go to knowyourriskpodcast.com. Sign up for a free risk review. They walk you through. They want to see, do you got anything out there that maybe, well, you're over leveraged in certain areas. Are there hidden costs eating away at your profits or really compounding those losses if they're out there? Their thing at Bulwark is lower risk, lower cost, and lower volatility, and give you the most upside potential. It's awesome. You get one shot at retirement. Make it count for you. Cookie cutters don't work. You know what works? Building something that's right for you when it comes to your retirement, because that's who's living your retirement. Sign up today. Get your free risk review. Doesn't hurt to have a second pair of eyes. Take a look at what's going on. Go to knowyourriskpodcast.com, knowyourriskpodcast.com, or call 866-779-RISK for Bulwark Capital Management today. Investment advisory service offered through Trek Financial LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Investment involved risk, not a guarantee. Past performance not guarantee future results. Trek 25217.
President Trump says he spoke with Russian President Vladimir Putin over the phone for about an hour today. He's also expected to speak with China's President Xi later this week, just as the Justice Department says a couple of Chinese nationals smuggled something into the U.S. that could be harmful to our crops and us. And we got a public health alert for some ground beef sold at Whole Foods. We'll tell you about it 1:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Just got a text from 4093 says, halfway through the show, you guys haven't made a fat joke yet. And I said, listen here. You're right.
Actually, what he said was, shut up, chubby.
I can't believe that we haven't made a fat joke. We will, though. We promise. We got a lot of that coming up.
Well, and fat dudes can make fat jokes.
Absolutely.
Show's only half over.
Of course we can. We're allowed to. And I don't care when fat people get a fat. No. You know what I did get a lot of cheering from yesterday when I said that we're talking about dating and the height thing, and I said the weight thing should be that way because nobody wants to date Cinderella.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Oh, she doesn't have a glass slipper. She's got a little scooter. Hey, is this your rascal?
Beep, beep.
Oh, my Lord. So this is a Democrat. Why is it Democrats? Let me ask you this. You know, you always worry about the poor immigrant that's come here. Why is it you always sound like you're trying to protect slavery? Well, who's going to pick our stuff? Like, I get that, right? I get that we can be honest because we don't want to pay. Look, I said yesterday, the best thing to do is not eat fruits and vegetables. I think we can all understand. If we stay away from fruits and vegetables, it's great.
Well, China's working on that.
Yeah, they're trying to. But this lady, here she's talking about, we need immigrants.
Labor. And of course, we have to come to a place in Congress where it is no longer a political issue, but we see it as an existential issue for the country. If we don't have avenues for people to come here legally to work or to build a home here, I'm going to be really crude right now. We're not going to have anybody around to wipe our asses because we don't have enough people.
She basically said, look, we need you poor, stupid immigrants to come over here and wipe our grundles because we're so old we can't do it ourselves. And that's all your worth is.
Because you're the only ones that'll accept how much they'll pay you.
Yeah, no doubt. God, that is, I mean, you said that out loud. Well, excuse me, I'm going to be vulgar here. Before you got to the vulgar, it was awful. Do you think she was going down that path and she's like, I can't stop. I'm going to say something stupid.
Ooh, listen to this. Got some breaking news on the big, beautiful bill.
Tell me.
Trump calls for scrapping the debt limit.
Just all together?
Well, that's conservative.
All together.
Yeah, guys, how's that sound, huh? Does that sound conservative? That sounds great. Hey, you know what? You guys worried about the debt limit getting too big? Let's just get rid of it altogether. Oh, my God. That is just insane. Scrap the debt limit. I don't. How do you even, as a conservative, if you're conservative, again, there's MAGA and there's conservative. Because the conservatives that look at this thing, they realize the ridiculousness of it. They also realize there's a bunch of other stuff in here that's ridiculous. But how do you wrap your head around we're gonna get rid of the debt limit?
I mean, the debt limit doesn't even stop them from spending. It just slows down their spending.
Yes. And that's it. Like the only time, rarely do they come together as one and try to stop, they stop everybody from doing anything. But usually it's when they're excited because they get to spend more money. Like, hey, guys, we can spend all this money. And this is insane. That is not, you cannot tell me that is conservative in any way, shape, or form. We're going to just. And did anybody jump on that? Because Rand Paul's like, no, we're not going to raise. I don't want to raise the debt limit. I don't want to raise the debt ceiling. And now you're coming out going, yeah, we should totally raise it more. We should just not have one.
Yeah, see, this is coming from the Hill And they're citing a post on Truth Social, but I'm not seeing this on Truth Social.
Is he saying scrap the debt limit or scrap the increase that they're talking about?
Just says President Trump on Wednesday doubled down on calls to scrap the nation's debt ceiling.
Yeah, that's getting rid of it.
Yeah, that's getting rid of it.
Pressing for bipartisan action to abolish it and finding common ground with Senator Elizabeth Warren.
Well, you know why? Because remember, they wanted to get rid of the filibuster so they could spend a ton more money. And if it wasn't for the fact that there were two Democrats that were logical in Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema that said, no, we're not going to do that. You know why the Democrats might say yes? Because they realize, oh, we could be in power one day, and then we'd have unlimited spending power to do whatever we want. That is not what many of us signed up for.
Yeah, I posted it an hour ago.
Is that right next to Biden's a robot? I'm a robot.
See.
I'm a robot. That was still funny. Oh. Ridiculous. Apparently, there's never, ever been a limit. Well, if you think there's no limit now,
I was getting ready
wait
to
till
say.
there's no limit.
Yeah, I don't think there's...
There's been something to try to slow them down, which is good. Because what's it look like if you can just spend all you want whenever you want? Well, who cares? Because remember, not just Trump, but all of these people, by the time hits the fan, they're going to be done. They're retired. They've moved on. They're on K Street. They got fat. They're sitting in their homes. They're debt-free. They're multimillionaires. And you and I and everybody else are going to be standing there holding a bag of turds. You want to hold a bag of turds? That's what the thing should be called, a giant big bag of turd bill. But it doesn't roll off the tongue.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, goodness me. So, gosh, goodness me. Coming up, we got more crazy, fun audio. A bunch of other stuff still to get to today. If you miss any of our show, you can reach out to us. We're on Twitter. We're on Twitch. Still haven't gone to Twitch. We should do that. Should try to find out where we're at. We're not on, you know what we should do on Twitch? We should play, halfway through the show, I should stop and just play a video game.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I need to be like a 24-year-old girl with bosoms, though, because that usually helps. I'm playing Galaga. Okay, whatever.
While my cleavage hangs out.
That's right. Oh, my God. Look at me play Roblox. That's the Jeff Benson Show. Super Talk 99.7.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast in 5 minutes. President Trump says he spoke with Russian President Vladimir Putin on the phone over an hour today. Putin said he'll have to respond to the Ukraine attack on docked Russian warplanes and that major bridge Russia uses as a supply route. President Trump expected to speak with China President Xi later this week, just as the Justice Department announcing 2 Chinese nationals smuggled into the U.S. a fungus known to kill crops and be harmful to humans. 2 suspects allegedly receiving Chinese government funding for their research. Here's ABC News Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas.
The concern of the federal government is that it could somehow perhaps be weaponized. They're not necessarily making that allegation here, but they're using terms like national security implications and potential agro-terror pathogen.
Food recall alert. The federal government issuing a public health alert for ground beef sold at Whole Foods stores across the country because it may have E. coli in it. USDA officials say it's the 1-pound vacuum-packed packages of organic rancher beef produced on May 22nd and May 23rd by NPC Processing Incorporated. That's out of Shelburne, Vermont. The use-by dates June 19th and June 20th. So officials say these products are no longer on the shelves, but they could be in your fridge. And if they are, don't eat them, throw them out, or take them back for a refund. Going on a trip to Mexico anytime soon and looking to hook up? Better be careful, says the U.S. Embassy and Consulate in Mexico. They say U.S. citizens have been kidnapped after meeting people on dating apps. Victims' families have faced extortion for large sums of money to secure their loved one's release. If you're going to do it, officials say meet only in public places. Entertainment news. Someone stole irreplaceable instruments owned by the members of the rock band Heart from a venue in New Jersey last weekend where they were launching a nationwide tour. They are now offering a reward for information leading to their return. Among those items stolen was Nancy Wilson's custom-built purple sparkle baritone Telecaster guitar with a hand-painted headstock. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
This is and weather outside. It's going to be weathery weather. The Wellness Institute of Nashville wants you to come on in and save big. Why? Because Wellness Institute is great, and so they got a presidential special. $34 for the first consultation, X-rays if needed, and first treatment. Right, so you go on in there, check it out. Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Ashley, they take care of you. They're awesome. And the reason $34 is because the president, they went after him 34 times. And this is part of the big 47 going on. So your back is a mess. This is about non-surgical spinal decompression. It's about getting your back so you can enjoy life. You can play pickleball. You can come out and hang out with us and chase Dan around and try to give him a hug at that thing we're doing here on the 17th. This is the great thing about this is getting your life back and living pain-free, and that's what the Wellness Institute of Nashville will do. So how do you do it? Simple and easy. You call 615-246-5009, 615-246-5009, or you can check out everything they do at painisbad.com. WTN. Those of you guys not keeping score, Bell broke everything in the room. What happened, dude?
Systems just completely crashed on me.
No. It's gone dark. It's just like the Newark Airport Air Traffic Control Tower.
Oh, my Lord. Out. We're done.
Good thing Brother Bell is not directing planes right now.
No, he's not. He probably wouldn't have done it. He would have done a great job. Bell would have been like, let's pick the bad week to stop smoking crack. Or whatever. Remember that?
Sniffing airplane glue.
Sniffing glue.
Yeah.
From the movie Airplane. Oh, goodness.
It looks like I picked the wrong week to stop
drinking.
Sniffing glue.
Yeah, sniffing glue, doing cocaine, meth.
The Lloyd Bridges, man.
Lloyd Bridges, he was so great. Oh, remember the gay guy in that one?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, the flight attendant.
Yeah, he was hilarious. That guy was. He was no Harvey Milk.
No, he wasn't. He didn't have his own Navy ship.
No, he did not. The USS Harvey Milk, which goes out and refuels ships that are out in the ocean. We got rid of it because it's priorities. Just in time for Pride Month.
Oh,
my goodness me. So we broke stuff here. So this is fantastic.
Dang, Brother Bill, he's like on a big phone.
He is. That's a big phone. That's like a man's phone right there.
That means there's something serious.
That's one of those, I was flipping around the other day, and I think it was the first Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
And he's like chasing this guy, and he can't get him, and he takes out this phone that's like, the reason he couldn't catch him because he was carrying this phone.
It was a big bag phone.
He takes the and goes and he takes out you got to
raise the antenna.
I'm gonna call somebody. I was like, yes. Oh my goodness me!
I remember those big bag phones, man.
Oh,
I mean that was part of my everyday equipment there in little old Tulsa, Oklahoma, running around chasing murders and house fires and other things.
So
hop on the bag phone and call in a live shot.
Wow, that's crazy. Now it's what do they have? They have those Comrexes now.
Yeah.
So those are pretty cool. And and some of them are so cool you can actually play their audio from them, which I think is cool too.
Yeah.
But yeah, those old school you're like, who are you calling? Space. That's who I'm calling, Space. So that's when you hear us making noises. It's because we broke stuff.
And we're doing our own bumper.
That's okay. We're good with that. We are absolutely good with that. We were talking about the big, beautiful bill. People are hitting us up here, Ken.
Yeah.
Some people say, we're just doing this to get through the election. It's no. Because guess what happens? There's another election after that.
It's
nonstop.
There's always going to be a reason and it's like what you've talked about. Real savings are going to take real pain.
Yes. That's it. That's 100. Austerity measures, they suck. Like if you want to lose weight, you're going to have to stop eating crap and working out more.
And you're going to have to
sacrifice. It's got to be uncomfortable for a while. And that's what this is. And none of this, the scrapping of the debt ceiling, we're just going to get rid of it. That's not going to help anybody. in the future. That's why I said earlier, it's like a big bag of turds they're handing us. And you know what they're walking away with? Bags of cash. We can't. This is nothing. Everybody's like, well, this is Trump's agenda. We want to be on Trump's agenda. That's great. I thought Trump's agenda was let's cut. Let's get us sorted. Let's get fixed. That's not getting rid of the debt ceiling so we can have unlimited spending. That shouldn't be any of those things.
Now, Trump says the debt limit should be entirely scrapped to prevent an economic catastrophe.
So what exactly would an economic catastrophe be?
He does not say.
All
He
right.
said it is too devastating to be put in the hands of political people that may want to use it despite the horrendous effect it could have on our country and indirectly even the world.
No idea what even that means.
I don't know.
All right. Well, Bell's you got it back up? Do you have buttons to push?
I hope.
All right, we're going to let Bell push buttons. Here we go.
The screen.
So I read that story yesterday, Ken, about that lady with the death cap mushrooms. It's an interesting story.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
So she was getting a divorce, and during the COVID, stuff happened with her and her husband, and she everything kind of closed. Australia got weird, so she went out and she started, being a what they call her, a mushroom cooker or some, I don't know, some weird name they gave her over in Australia. She started then experimenting with stuff.
Okay.
And she invited her mother-in-law and her husband and her father-in-law and his new wife. So this is her soon-to-be ex-husband's family over.
Yeah.
And she fed them beef Wellington with the stuff in it. And she had told everybody she had cancer when she didn't. She had told everybody she'd done all these things and all this stuff and that she didn't have any of it. And she ate some of it too, and then she threw up. And she said she overate. And 3 of them died. 1 of them almost died.
So she was just going to see what would happen.
Yes, that was kind of, by the sounds of it, she wanted to see if she could make them sick.
And she intentionally got to a certain point where she started feeling it and knew when to stop.
Mm-hmm. And she said, well, then she said, apparently what the prosecution's saying is, once she started to feel sick, she went and ate a bunch of cake and then made it look like she overate. Then she threw up to feel better. But she said she got it mixed up. She'd picked them earlier, and she cut them up to the point where you couldn't take them out. So even if you saw them, you wouldn't recognize they were death caps. Which I didn't realize how because I don't eat mushrooms or fruits or vegetables because they're all silly. I don't know what you guys want me to say. I'm just being serious.
I do like mushrooms.
Not death caps.
No, not death caps.
You know what's weird too is like no matter how much you cook them, they're still poisonous. Like some things you think if you fry and you do enough to it, maybe you get some of that stuff out.
Yeah.
Not that. No.
I was curious if she had done it intentionally, but obviously it sounds like this was done with malice and intent.
Yeah, I don't know if she meant to kill them.
Probably just I think initially, like she just wanted to hurt them.
Yeah. That's by the sounds of it. But that's what it like get revenge, because there's also a bunch of Facebook postings about how much she didn't like them and she had said horrible things about them, because that's the smart thing to do, by the way. If you're thinking about doing something horrible, just go out and tell everybody and then do it.
Yeah, tell everybody who you hate and then invite them over for dinner.
And then try to kill them and then say, I didn't know it was going to work.
My bad.
Sorry about that. That's why you don't eat mushrooms. Every year we always get a mushroom story. Usually it's a bunch of hippies, right? They go out and they with their family and all their kids die, and the ones that do survive have to have like a liver transplant.
Yeah.
At Burning Man.
Yes. So somebody said, Chad, I'm with you, a carnivore here. My cardiologist agrees and says, why eat the stuff that eats the stuff we're supposed to eat? That's always been my thing. They're eating the fruits and the vegetables and the plants and all the stuff that I need, and I'm just going to take it from them.
See, we get it from them.
Good golly, it's not that hard, people. It's not. Several of you are upset about the big, beautiful bill and the fact that I have been hammering the insanity. Here's a cover of Drudge. Are you ready for this? Yeah. Trump calls for unlimited debt. Musk nukes in post, bankrupting America. The grievances are grown. Do you remember when I first came on and I said they're going to fight at some point in time? And everybody's like, no, they're not. You hate America, Chad. So, and it's not about Musk. I mean, he's right. I mean, but if you're going to bankrupt America, as long as you're not in charge, right? You want to be the captain of the Titanic up until the point that you crash into the iceberg. Then you don't want to be the captain. Then it's like, I wasn't there. I'm sorry about that. It was another kid that did that. And this is it's just so ugly. It is. And it's going to get uglier. I tell you that right now. Every day we have crazy, wacky, fun stuff. This person thinks that everybody who supports MAGA is an idiot, which makes me laugh because, as we all know, that's not true. She thinks they can't read and stuff like that. Let's just hear how, from her beautiful voice, too. But she's gorgeous.
At half of the fucking population is functionally illiterate, has ruined me. It has made me, And like, I don't want y'all to be dumb. I wish y'all were smarter, because it's stressing me the out that I have to share a planet with you people. Like, there's a chance that my nurse when I'm in the nursing home isn't going to believe the vaccines.
Don't worry, though. They're going to wipe your butt because we got them from a different country for cheap. It's a Democrat thing. That, too, it is fascinating that, like, well, come on. Who's going to pick our stuff?
Yeah.
Who's going to do, who's going to do all that crap? Because we know Americans aren't going to do it.
Not for that kind of pay.
No, even for any kind of pay.
Well, yeah.
You know what? You tell a 23-year-old, I'm going to pay you $40 an hour to watch these old people and have to clean up after them. It includes the fact that they're going to go to the bathroom in their pants. You're going to have to change them and stuff like that. Most people are like, no way, dude. No way.
Yeah, you got to be a special person.
Yeah, oh, you totally have to be. You have to be extra special. That's why we're trying to build robots.
That interesting, yeah.
And not only that, but for companionship. If
that's going to be huge, man.
That's the big thing for some of these things. Being able to sit there and relive moments and talk to somebody who doesn't, or something who doesn't care about hearing your story, and just having something to interact with.
They can't talk back.
Yeah, they can't talk back.
Or they can talk back, but they will agree with everything you say.
It's just going to be great. Who's watching you? Who's watching Grandma? Well, we got Ethel.
Yeah.
Ethel bought 5,000, and you could plug their memories into them.
Now name it Alice.
Alice, okay.
Yeah, for the maid on Brady Bunch.
But think about this too. Putting your memories, scanning all of that stuff, the memories of your family into the robot too, so it can share some of those things. So you don't ever have to. It's called a place where you never have to see mom again.
Wow.
Dude, you know what I'm seeing right now that's kind of disturbing to me? I mean, I've seen some posts come up. Apparently, you can take photos of your dearly departed, and these photos come to life.
Yeah, come to life. It's crazy, isn't it?
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's neat, but is that something you want? Maybe.
Yeah.
For some people, at first it seems like a fun thing. The next thing you know, you're like, I'm creeped out.
Yeah.
So that's where we're going. And soon we're going to be able to download our memories and live forever in the ether. Coming up, more fun stuff. Don't miss any of the show. It's Chad Benson Show. Super Talk 99.7. Prize Picks right now is ready for you. Download the app today. Use my code CHAD. Get up to 2,000 times your money when you win. How do you win? Well, it's simple. You play a lineup. The lineup is more or less. It's that easy. We're down to the final series in basketball. Same thing with hockey. You can pick your favorite players, the knowledge you have, and pick more or less. Are they going to have more goals, more shots, more hits, more rebounds than whatever they put out there? It's that simple. And you play your first $5 lineup, you get a $50 bonus immediately credited to your account, which you can go on and play more and more. And that is win or lose. It is so simple and easy to do. You're not picking teams, spreads, or games. You're picking players and their stats. It's more, it's less. It's a way to win with Prize Picks. Download the app today. Play your first $5 lineup and get a $50 bonus immediately, win or lose, when you use my code, and that is Chad. Prize Picks. Run your game. Must be 21, present in Tennessee. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-426-2537.
Another fertility clinic attack arrest. New details about the Boulder, Colorado terrorist, and White House pushback on the Congressional Budget Office score on that big, beautiful bill. These stories and more at 2 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
So Japan has been using, in small studies, robots to care for the elderly. Because they're going to have, well, you know what? They don't have a younger population. They're in a real heap of hurt. Japan and South Korea.
Really?
Yeah. Like South Korea is at a point where by the end of the century, there's not going to be a South Korea. There's just going to be whatever. North Korea just walks over and takes it.
They're just not having any babies.
Less than one. You need like 2.1 for replacement. Yeah. They're having less than 1.
Yeah, that's
you can't have that.
That's going to be a problem.
Yeah, and they're at the lowest rung. Japan is not too far, and if it wasn't for us, for whether it's immigration or legal immigration, people having kids here, we'd be near where South Korea is. So we're going to need those poor people, apparently, according to that Democrat, to come over and handle business.
You know what? Robots taking care of the elderly. I can see one good aspect of that. That might eliminate elder abuse.
Totally. I mean, that's, yeah. I mean, that is, because there is a worry about that. I mean, it takes a special human being to do that job.
You've got to be a special person to do that.
You
can't go into that just for a paycheck.
No, you can't. And because, especially when you get to the point, because first of all, you're dealing with people that, some of them who realize that they're not gone as far as their memory, but they're also in the twilight of their life. And now they went from, a few years earlier having independence to going into a playroom at 10. And then you've got people who one day you recognize, the next day they don't recognize anybody. Then you got people who don't know anything, and up from down, and they're in the bed all day, and you got people you get attached to that are going to die soon. So that is tough. I remember going to see my great grandmother when she was in one of those homes. It's heartbreaking. Because I would see her a lot because she lived close by. And me and my great-grandmother, Huida with a Q, we got along great. I was so close to her, so I would go see her as much as I possibly could. But I know that she would tell me the lady next to her never had anybody come in. That's going to be so tough.
It's terrible.
So having a robot will be a helper. Coming up, we got hour number 3 of the program. Kansas News straight ahead. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7.
Two o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast in 5 minutes. Federal officials have announced the arrest of Daniel Park as an alleged accomplice in last month's bombing of that fertility clinic in Palm Springs, California. The bomber, Guy Bartkus, was the only person killed in the attack. Here's ABC's Jacqueline Lee.
He's from the Seattle area, and they believe he shipped 180 pounds of ammonium nitrate, which is an explosive precursor to homemade bombs. They then say they allege he paid for another 90 pounds to be delivered to Bartkus ahead of the attack.
And we're learning new details about Mohammed Suleiman, the suspect in the anti-Semitic attack in Boulder, Colorado.
He had told police, according to them, that he had wanted this to be an active shooter event, but because he is in the country illegally, he was not able to buy a gun. We now know November 22nd, he tried to buy a gun. He was denied that purchase. Now, that should have prompted ICE. They should have known based on that application and being denied. We think because he was in the country illegally, they should have been notified, but we don't know that they were. Then the Colorado Bureau of Investigation denied an attempt for a concealed weapons permit at the end of December. So 2 attempts there, both of them denied.
That's Alex Stone. And Capitol Hill's nonpartisan scorekeepers out with their estimate of how much that one big beautiful bill of tax cuts, Medicaid reforms, border and military spending will add to future deficits.
The Congressional Budget Office estimates the House-passed version of the bill would increase annual deficits by $2.4 trillion over a decade. New Medicaid rules would increase the ranks of the uninsured by nearly 11 million people. At a news conference, House Speaker Mike Johnson was pressed on Elon Musk's outspoken opposition to the bill.
Well, I'll tell you, I called Elon last night and he didn't answer.
Johnson says he has spoken to President Trump.
He's not delighted that Elon did a 180 on that.
Sources say Musk has privately complained about provisions eliminating EV tax credits. Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
Well, Karen Travers, what is the White House saying about the CBO?
The White House is dismissing the Congressional Budget Office estimate of the Republican bill, saying the CBO is, quote, not using a realistic current policy baseline to calculate its numbers. Trump Budget Director Russ Vought said in a social media post that the One Big Beautiful Bill reduces the deficit by $1.4 trillion over 10 years, despite the CBO saying it would increase the deficit by $2.4 billion over a decade. On Tuesday, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt slammed the CBO as, quote, partisan and political, and said the White House was confident in its own economic analysis of the bill. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
It's grilling season, but you better check the label on that ground beef in the fridge. U.S. Department of Agriculture says ground beef that was distributed nationwide to Whole Foods could be contaminated with E. coli. Public health alert issued today. The agency singles out the 1-pound vacuum-packed packages of organic rancher, organic ground beef, 85% lean, 15% fat. Officials say if you have some of that in your fridge, don't eat it, throw it out, or take it back for a refund. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Ba, ba, da, ba, ba. Yeah, yeah, yeah. A lot of you chiming in about the robots and the old people. I find it fascinating. I mean, that's the future is what are we going to be able to do with robots? How are we going to integrate them into society?
Mm-hmm.
Because
and make sure they don't go amok.
There's always that too. There is that thing that there's a little worry there with them running amok. Like maybe there's a chance they could eat us. There's that chance. They may need our fuel. That's why they want to work at the old folks' home. No one will miss you. But it's going to be, I mean, yesterday a CNN had, I just saw they had like a hot robot chick, because that's the first thing the nerds do. Let's make a hot robot chick.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys want to solve cancer? Excuse me. She's going to have triple Ds. Smart, Seth. That's smart.
Well, if you can, why would you not?
There you go. You don't think that's tasteless, do you? No. Those are solid. So, but the robot, like that's the future. The AI, that kind of stuff, that is going to be so incredible. But when you think about, like, for instance, childcare in America, what's that going to look like? When we get robots that are good enough where you have somebody that's an overseer, but that can watch the kids.
Rosie, you'll be throwing Elroy around the apartment.
Everybody said Hazel or Elroy. I mean, Hazel or Rosie is what you need to name them.
Well, Rod Serling, he's got a couple of Twilight Zone episodes about that. Remember the kids who had the nanny?
Oh, that's right.
And then Dad wanted to send her away. Boy, those kids, they weren't going to have it.
No, they weren't.
You're not getting rid of Nanny.
Nope. It's going to kill you and take us. Ex machina.
Hey, I just saw something on the New York Post, talking about dwindling population.
Yeah.
Let's see. What was it? This story claims that AI could, quote, devastate Earth's population down to the size of the UK by 2300.
Whoa.
Expert warns people really don't have a clue.
No, I don't think, But I asked my uncle.
I think I might be okay with that.
Yeah. And have you met us? Not a bad thing. Here's the thing, though. Do they just live? Is that just it? Is they just it then?
Yeah. It's just them on the Earth.
But if they don't have somebody to interact with, because then they're going to eventually start fighting, especially the girl ones, they'll start fighting with themselves. So 2300, we're not going to be here. So
no, we won't be here.
No.
Well, never say never.
Well, I'm never saying never. Our memories. What if humans don't exist as the way they do now? Because I keep telling, where we can start downloading our memories and just go from, clone body to clone body kind of thing. So it doesn't mean that humans won't be, we just won't be what we were. We'll be a mesh of the two. Stronger, faster, like the $6 million man.
Like Steve Austin, baby.
$6 million. My little brother was in the hospital for a month when he was born. He's got special needs. He's got brain damage, trach, the whole 9 yards. I mean, we talk about robots. He costs $4 million. That's what you get for like $6 million nowadays. $6 million would have got that guy like a new back and a month stay in the hospital. It wouldn't have got him superpowers. What do you got? Appendicitis.
That's why when they started talking about doing the reboot, they were calling it the $6 billion man.
Yeah, it had to be something like that.
I like the episodes whenever the Bigfoot would come on and the Bionic Man would fight the Bigfoot.
Oh God, that was or Wonder Woman. Not Wonder. No, what was it? Was it Wonder Woman?
No,
not Wonder Woman. It was
talking about the Bionic
Woman.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Universal Studios?
Never have.
So, because when you take the little trek around, you drive through the tunnel.
Yeah.
Do you remember the tunnel when he had to run through? That was supposed to be the Arctic to fight the abominable snowman or whatever.
That's right.
Because that was real. They tell you the story. It took him like 12 times to get through it because it is when you get in there and you're like, ooh, and it said it took him a whole bunch of times because he'd get like 15, 20 yards in and he'd start getting weird because it was spinning around and around.
Interesting.
Yeah, big time. You know what's weird too? Jamie Summers, that was her name.
Jamie
played
Summers.
by Lindsay Wagner.
And they used to have all the crossovers.
Yeah, those were outstanding.
Yeah, I love those. That's back in the day. I watch it now because my for whatever reason, my Amazon now knows that I like all those shows, so they gives me a $6 million Bionic Woman.
When I was a kid, that was appointment TV for me. And now I look back on those shows and I'll watch one of them and go, "This is absolutely horrible."
Oh, no way! I watched Kung Fu the other night. He's Kwai Chang Kang. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he is. He's all over the West playing his flute. Fighting people when he has to.
But only when he has to.
Remember that? Kung Fu was so awesome.
There wasn't enough fighting in it, though.
There was never. It's like too much drama, not enough ninja stuff.
Yeah, there's too much dialogue, man.
Yeah, and he's always going back to Master Po or whatever his name was with his no eyes.
And see, that was my problem with and one of my very best lifelong friends, he won't like me for this, but that was my problem with Chuck Norris movies. There's too much dialogue.
Yeah, he
Just
doesn't
have
need that.
Chuck kicking people's ass.
He doesn't. He doesn't. There is not enough. That's what he's there for. Like, it's Chuck Norris. You're here to fight. Nobody cares about anything you have. This is what we want you to do. We want to see you fight and beat up bad guys, and Delta Force, and all those movies that you did that were so horrible with Lee Marvin.
I freaking love Lee Marvin.
Oh, you know what else? For whatever reason, appeared on my my Amazon the other day was the. Remember when they used to have the Battle of the Superstars? Which was like the Olympics, and it was like it would be okay. So you'd have like the guys from Bonanza would take on the kids from Different Strokes in like
Valley.
a 50-yard swim.
It'd be Big Valley against Bonanza.
Oh, like here comes Farrah Fawcett running around. She's got high ankle socks on, wearing those dolphin shorts.
Man, if they would have done the Big Valley against Bonanza, they should have had Nick Barkley fight Haas.
Oh, Nick Barkley. He was always starting stuff.
He was always getting in a fight.
Yeah,
that was Lee Majors' character, right?
Yeah, Lee Majors all over the place. Lee Majors was. People forget how big of a star he was. He was on Big Valley.
He was, yeah.
Then he was on. Well, let's not forget the great stunt show he was on.
Oh yeah, Great American.
No, not Great American Hero. Was they just did that movie last year with
what in the world was the name of that?
I don't.
I watched it every Thursday.
I'm an unknown stunt man that makes Eastwood look so. Yeah, that one.
Oh, I gotta look it up.
Come on, guys.
Come on,
Chips.
Brother Bilal. Come on.
I can't remember. It's right on the tip of my tongue.
What was that show?
Majors show in the 80s. Come on. The Fall Guy.
Fall Guy. That was a movie last year, the year before last, with who's the guy that Ryan Gosling?
Yeah,
he's beautiful. I'd hate to be that guy.
Yeah, I bet he can't get any dates.
No, well, he's married to is it Eva Mendes or whatever? They've been married for like 15 years.
Oh, so he's done dating.
Yeah, he's done dating. He doesn't get to be him.
Dude, I think Lee Majors is still alive,
Yeah,
isn't
he is. He is. He's still alive.
Yeah.
He goes on shows and is cantankerous.
That's awesome.
He was in The Fall Guy, too. Battle of the Network Stars.
Battle of the Network Stars.
That was such a great show. Chips. I remember Chips. Do you remember the episode of Chips? This is we're reliving the fun times here. Because you know what? I don't want to talk about a big, stupid, beautiful bill.
The BBB.
Yeah. Brr. The episode of Chips. First of all, I could never, even as a kid, I was like, why are they never on the highway? They're always pulling people over on side streets, right? But do you remember when they went undercover at the beach to catch the guys that were stealing the jewelry? Because they had the big shoes and the shoes would turn into roller skates?
Another show I watched religiously that was just absolutely terrible.
Oh, that was great. That was, and I'm like, even as a kid, I was like, man, they were never, ever, ever on the highway, ever.
Only in the credits.
Yes, only in the credits. Yeah, that's right. Lee Majors was in Scrooged. I remember that. That was great.
That's right. Yeah, he had to help Santa and Mrs. Santa. They're right in the opening scene
when they were fighting I think they were fighting the bad elves or the Nazis or whatever.
And he's all,
Lee, you've been a good boy this year.
The night the reindeer died.
That's such a great movie. Oh, Lord. See, this is the stuff that matters, people. This is like, when are you talking to your friends? What do you talk about? Stuff like this.
Not me, man. I talk about tariffs and Congress.
Oh, God, I love that. Tariffs. You know what? It's terrific. Didn't they just put tariffs on today? Didn't they go on finally, the steel tariffs?
I think the steel tariffs go on at midnight or something like that. Or maybe they've already gone into effect.
Chips is still on, yeah. Chips is still, yeah, you can see Chips. Like MeTV came and just saved the world.
Yeah, and that channel called Charge.
I've not seen that. What's that?
I haven't either.
Yeah, there's a channel you can get on antenna. It's just called Charge. And it's like in the 50s or something, digital channel 52 or 53 or something like that.
What is it, all just retro shows?
It's just all retro action show. Let's see, they have, remember Emergency?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Emergency's
Randolph
on
Mantooth.
there.
Great. Johnny Gage. What's up,
Johnny Gage.
So I love, my uncle, I keep telling him, I'm trying to pitch him this thing because he was meeting with some people yesterday from, there's a little name drop, from Netflix. And they were talking about AI stuff. And I told him, I said, dude, we've got to do a show, a channel that is only shows that lasted one season or just a pilot.
Absolutely.
Just because some of them are so horrible. Yeah. And it's great. It's great. I would love that. That would be awesome. Like, because there's so many bad, great shows out there, and you watch it, and it's like, this only lasted 9 episodes. And there's a reason for it. It's awful, but it's awesome to watch.
It's so bad, it's good.
Yeah. MeTV, Cozy.
Yeah, Cozy has a lot of that.
BJ and the Bear, another great one.
BJ and the Bear. I never got to watch that.
That's another show that I watched religiously as a kid that's just absolutely atrocious.
It is not.
It's atrocious. It's horrible.
You know what I love about BJ and the Bear? The fact that a guy's driving around
in a truck
with a monkey. With a monkey.
Yeah, driving around in a truck, getting people out of jams.
That's right, because that's what he does. Or let's not forget Grizzly Adams, because who doesn't need a bear?
Grizzly Adams.
Well, that's why you move up into the mountainside, is so you can have your pet bear.
Yeah, Ben. All Ben would ever do is
he never did and eat.
He never did any. He never saved anything. He never saved anybody. He never did any of that.
He just ate.
At least Flipper did. Right? At least Flipper was doing stuff.
Flipper would kill sharks.
He would. He would bang into the side of their necks and watch them die. He's like, that's what I think.
Gentle Ben, where Clint Howard had his own bear, too.
No, Clint Howard. They tried so hard to make him a star. They tried so hard. They're just like, we can't do it, dude. You're so ugly.
Your brother's just a lot more talented.
Yeah, he was. Clint never had that.
Well, he did play Carl on, he played Carl, who would always be eating a peanut butter sandwich in Andy Griffith's show.
Yeah, he had a few.
Because, that was always the deal, right? Even now, if he makes a movie, the deal was always that he made with his mom that my brother will always be in the movies.
Right.
I was watching an episode of Roseanne the other day that had Ron Howard's mother in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because she and Rance, her husband, they were both very active.
Yeah, they were
actors.
very, very active.
And Rance had a ton of roles on Andy Griffith's show.
He just passed away not too long ago, right?
A couple years ago.
Yeah, so.
She played Lovell's mother in Apollo 13.
Oh, look at that. See, MeTV is awesome. We do like a MeTV.
And there's a MeTV Plus now, too.
A Plus? What do you get with that?
There's 2 MeTVs.
Was MeTV Plus streaming?
Yep. No, it's not.
Oh.
Well, yeah, it is streaming on. There's some sort of service out there called Friendly TV. You pay like $6.99 a month and you get all these channels. MeTV Plus.
Yeah, you lost me at pay.
Yeah. You lost me at pay. Oh, Andy Griffith. I'm looking on there, all the stuff on MeTV.
There was an episode of Married with Children that Clint Howard was on, and his mother was on it, and they had no scenes together.
That's cool. Look at that. That's cool. Look at little things you guys learned. You're not going to learn that anywhere else.
No, sir.
No, this is what we do. Coming back, I'll talk to you about Carol Burnett and many other things, and maybe the big, beautiful bill, but probably not because nobody cares. We're moving on. It is the Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 997. Raycon, best earbuds around. I love my Raycons. You will love yours. Fit, feel, comfort, second to none. Sound quality, amazing. And the way that you can control them, you can move in and out of different sounds. So maybe you're out there and you're like me. I like to go play golf. So I'm out there playing golf and I want to have awareness mode. What does that mean? I can hear everything outside, but I can still hear my earbuds if I'm listening to music or something like that. And the great thing is when I take a swing, they don't fly off, which is awesome. 8 hours of talk time, 32 hours of battery life, the best around. You will love these things. Right now, get 15% off site-wide and a 30-day happiness guarantee. Go to buyraycon.com/Chad. That's buyraycon.com/Chad for the best earbuds around and save big this Father's Day at buyraycon.com/Chad.
Another fertility clinic attack arrest. New details about the Boulder, Colorado attacker. President Trump speaks to Putin, and China tried to put a fungus among us. These stories and more at 2:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Fungus among us. If you guys haven't heard, there was a lady getting her doctorate here in America. And her boyfriend came over, and he just happened to have biofungus among us that would have destroyed all of our crops and killed all of our cattle.
Which is weird because I watched an episode of Blacklist last night that was very similar to that.
Man, it's nuts. Like the thought of what that could have done. And yet we're going to talk to them on the phone. Tell me again why we're even having this conversation.
Well, he's going to ask she about it, and she's going to be like, we didn't do that.
Yeah, we didn't do that. Really? Because they signed this thing that said they are beholden to you, that they love you, a 4-part thing that you have to pledge to the CCP, which essentially means if they ask you for something, even if you love America, you better or else. Oh.
She'll just say it came from a bat.
Is there a boyfriend named Bat?
Bat Meat Market.
Bat Masterson. Another phenomenal show.
Absolutely.
Oh, goodness me. I just, the thought of how close that was, and this happened in July of last year, but they just got around now to charging them. They must have been in custody.
Have they been in custody the whole time?
I would have hoped so. What do you say, sir?
Don't trust China.
I agree 100%. I'm never going to trust them. There's no reason to. My buddy, who was... So my uncle and I, when my grandfather passed away, we have a house out there in California, and this house is a decent size, but it's also zoned for commercial. So we rented a part of it after Grandpa died, and then the other part is being run. It's like a little convenience store, and they're the funniest people. They say. It is. They said having somebody from China as a friend is like having a venomous snake for a belt. It's not a good idea. And that's not being mean. That's again, India and China. They got a whole other thing going on.
Oh, every day.
Every day they're fighting each other. So, but the reality of how close this was, because we caught it. But when you hear them talk about it, they're like, I don't think you guys really got the gist of how bad this would have been.
And if you look at how he had it stored in his backpack, there was no real safety measures at all. It was just in little dime bag baggies.
Yeah, dime bags. See the way he went there? Drugs. Always drugs with you, sir.
I was talking about a famous guitarist who has departed us, unfortunately.
Dime bag of baggy guy?
Ken's got my back.
No, I know. But that's all they were, because they showed the pictures, and it's just like somebody had little mini Ziplocs.
It's like, oh, I got some anthrax here in this baggie.
Well, it makes you think, what else are they trying to do to us?
Yeah. Do you know what they're not trying to do? Have a fair trade agreement. You know what they're not trying to do? Anything that would benefit us and the world, because all they want to do is win. That's it. Now, I'm not saying we can't get back together one day. I'm not saying there can't be love rekindled. I think we need to take some time apart. I think it would be best for everybody if we did, because we don't trust you. I don't trust you. And the IPs, how many IPs do you steal on a daily basis? Right now, every computer that's out there, you guys streaming us, somebody's trying to attack your computer from either Eastern Europe or China.
Constantly.
All the time. And Eastern Europe wants to take it over, and they want you to pay money to get back control. And then they tell you, okay, look, this is how we did it. And so we did this so nobody can do it again. The Chinese, they don't want to take it over. They just want to steal all your data because they want to use it down the road. It's not if, but when this will be useful. Go look at their new destroyer, or it looks just like ours. They don't even pretend. They don't. It's not like it's the USS Harvey Milk. They got rid of that. Priorities, guys, priorities.
Well, they just changed the name.
What's it going to be called now? The Liberace. I like that one.
The USS Chocolate Milk.
The USS Liberace. Oh, my Lord. Just in time for Pride Month. Like, Pete Hegseth was waiting on that.
Oh, he couldn't wait.
What's your first thing? The minute Pride rolls around, I'm getting rid of the USS Harvey Milk. Priorities. Most people are like, who the hell's Harvey Milk? He was the first openly gay person elected to that was a non, somebody was gay, but that was after they were already elected and they came out. But he was the first openly gay person.
Mayor of San Francisco.
He was the mayor of San Francisco. Before that, he was a big council member.
He was assassinated.
And he was shot. He was shot dead, actually, by a guy that was also a council member who quit.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that
because
part of the story.
He resigned, and the Moscone, I think was the other guy's name who was killed that same day. Then he didn't want to resign, but by then Milk and them had pushed it too far along, and then he came back and he shot both of those guys because of that. Because he said he was a fireman. He's like, I can't live off $9,000 a year.
So I'm going to kill somebody.
Yeah, so he got back.
Did that solve his problems?
No, it didn't, actually. I don't have a problem with them taking the name off of a freaking Navy ship. Do you want to celebrate a pedophile? He had a relationship with a 16-year-old. Mm-hmm. Which at the time was legal. Where he was, it was in New York. 14 was consent. So, I mean, we think it's creepy, and I think it's creepy, but that's if you're going to go by the law, you know what it is? It's the performativeness of it all when it comes to so much of this stuff. I like to get stuff done, right? That should be the thing we should care about the most in this country, but we don't because we have people that aren't really into it. I think they should name it Bodie McBoatface.
Yeah, I don't care what they name it.
I think that's already taken.
Oh, that is? Yeah. Well, we'll find out. Ship 1. This is the Chad Benson Show. Super Talk 99.7.
.2:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Federal officials have announced the arrest of Daniel Park as an alleged accomplice in last month's bombing of a fertility clinic in Palm Springs, California. The bomber, Guy Bartkus, was the only person killed in that attack. Here's ABC's Jacqueline Lee.
He's from the Seattle area, and they believe he shipped 180 pounds of ammonium nitrate, which is an explosive precursor to homemade bombs. They allege he paid for another 90 pounds to be delivered to Bartkus ahead of the attack.
Law enforcement officials say Mohammed Soleiman, the suspect in the anti-Semitic attack in Boulder, Colorado, had been planning it for a year. ABC's Alex Stone has more on the suspect's family, who was taken into custody.
They're likely going to be deported. We don't know, to Egypt, where he had lived for 17 years, or Kuwait, rather, where he had lived for 17 years, or to Egypt, where he was born, and some family members may have been born as well. So where they will go, we don't know. The White House had tweeted out last night, or on X, they had said that the family members might have been deported as quickly as last night. We understand that has not happened. It's going through the process, but that they will be leaving the U.S.
President Trump says he spoke to Russian President Putin today, and Putin told Trump that Russia will have to respond to the recent attack by Ukraine on those docked bomber planes. Not a conversation the President, Trump says, will lead to immediate peace. Administration officials say President Trump will speak to China President Xi this week. Comes as the Justice Department says 2 Chinese nationals smuggled a fungus into the U.S. that senior Pentagon official and ABC News contributor Steve Gagner says poses a real scary risk to us.
You had a member of the Communist Party who had a Chinese researcher working for her in a U.S. university on a pathogen that is known to be deadly to crops and to human beings. Why were they doing it? Why did they lie?
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
There'll be more scattered showers and thunderstorms, more of an elevated risk for strong to severe storms. So make sure you keep an eye on the sky through tomorrow afternoon and into Friday.
It's June. Time to get your system service, my friends over at Busy Bee. That's right. It's the best way, the Busy Bee way. So how does a trip, by the way, to the beach sound? Purchase a new AC unit and be entered in to win a free 3-day beach getaway when you buy the unit. They're going to take care of everything when it comes to the vacation, including gas, 2 meals per day, lodging, all of that stuff. The winners can be announced on Facebook Live. The clients who purchase a new AC unit in June are eligible to enter. Only one winner. Restrictions apply. But there's great specials going on through June. How about air duct clean? Boom! Giving away a free package upgrade. So what's that mean? You buy the medium package, you get the deluxe on top of that for free. You're not going to have to pay. You just have to buy the mid-level package. How easy is that? $500 off select tankless or upright water heaters. 15% off whole home drain repipes. $99 drain video inspection. $79 off water heater flush. Remember, now you get 2 years for the price of one when it comes to Beehive Club. So $99 gets you this year and next. Satisfaction guaranteed. Call Busy Bee today, HVAC. Simple, easy, always there. 775-7833 or visit busybeehvac.com. Rough Greens, RUFFgreens.com. Vitamins, minerals, probiotics, omega-3, 6, 9. All of this incredible stuff packed into an amazing supplement that you give your dog on a daily basis. It is 1 scoop a day. Keep that vet away. Save dollar bills for yourself, and that's what I love about Rough Greens. Your dog's older. Like, how many of us have done this? You take your dog out, and they maybe, they're excited. They want to go out. They still got that love of that walk, but then they walk gingerly, or maybe you start having to go, we can't walk as far as we used to, or if you got a smaller dog, you might have to carry him home. And then their aches and pains, they're tired, they lay on the couch. With this, you're going to see a huge improvement in their aches and pains in their joints and their energy levels. They're going to be able to go longer, faster, stronger, which is incredible. Try a Jumpstart trial bag of Rough Greens today. It is a $20 value. You get it for free. All they ask you to do is cover the cost of shipping. That simple. RUFFgreens.com/Chad. Use my code Chad. Roughgreens.com/Chad. A lot of you chiming in about Harvey Milk. So, and the name change. Good. I don't care. This is what I want for my I don't know what you guys want for politicians, but what I would like, maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe this is ridiculous. Maybe do your job. Don't kabuki theater it all the time. Just like you have to. Could you imagine if every day you went to your job, the other side of the room would be trying to stop you and saying ridiculously outrageous things, and then you would be telling your boss ridiculously outrageous things, and then nobody would be doing anything? You can't function that way. Yet we expect our government to function that way. And like a lot of you will listen to me and say, you're a libtard. You know what I'm not? I'm not a libtard, not even close. I always joke. I say I call myself a conservatarian. I'm a live and let live kind of guy. I want a strong border, a great military. I mean, these are just common sense, right? Like taxes that are spent wisely. These are things that this shouldn't be something we should be like freaking out about. Oh my God, no. We just need to be honest. And you guys, every one of us needs to be more skeptical towards our leaders. We should be. Because it's about them. This is the way politics works. Party first, personal second. Whatever's left, that can go down to the people. That's their trickle down. We don't have royalty. We have dukes and duchesses that play dukes and duchesses when they're congresspeople and senators, governors. And we should be a little bit more skeptical. Because I look around and I'm not, it's frustrating. Even with this big, beautiful bill. I mean, we joked about it earlier. It's big. It isn't beautiful. There's a lot of stuff in this that I'm not a fan of, and you shouldn't be a fan of it either if you go and take a look. But the thing is, because you wrap yourself in an identity and you make yourself about the tribe, to think that, well, I don't really like that, but I don't want the tribe to be mad at me, so I won't say that. No, you should be free thinking is the thing that matters. How many of you are free thinking? When's the last time you even changed your mind on a certain issue? That you looked and you're like, man, I didn't know it like that. I didn't understand it like that. I didn't look at it like that. And sometimes you just don't care enough to really pay that much attention to it. And then sometimes you do. And Ken and I talk about it all the time. Trying to find the truth in something is so hard. It's a job itself. If you're on television, Ken, did you ever do TV? You look like a TV guy.
Nope, never did TV.
Oh. The TV thing, they all have researchers because you need somebody to go out and research now. And you think, well, we've got all this technology. Well, the problem is everything now is niche. I'm going to get, if you want affirmation, you can find it. If you want information, that's tougher. That should be the easiest thing, is finding the information to any of this stuff that we need. What's in the big, beautiful bill? What's real? What's not real? What's the media saying because it gets clicks and likes and views, which is sad because part of that's on us because now the media, the news media in particular, a lot of these places are only paid, some of these people are only paid on clicks, likes, and views. So they have to put stuff up that's ridiculous and serve a certain audience that they know they're going to get their paycheck from. But we, and the media's done itself no favors over the last umpteen years, starting really with Trump. We always knew they were to the left, but then it just got out of control. And then you lost all your credibility. And even if you did something that you're like, I wasn't a fan of that, if the media says, oh, it's this, well, you're like, I'm going to go the opposite way because I can't believe you anymore. Because you're not even interested in telling us the truth because you're serving a particular person. So, and we'll see what happens with this big, beautiful, bill. I don't know. I mean, Trump said, was it a couple hours ago, he tweeted out, or truthed out. I say tweet like he doesn't, is not on.
He truthed it.
I wonder because he used to, it's weird, right? Like with the truthing thing, because he would have somebody then tweet out his truth because he wanted people to see it. Are you on Truth? Is anybody on Truth?
I'm on Truth.
No? I think I have an account, but I don't think I've been over there.
I'm barely on Twitter.
You're only on
X.
Twitter because you hate
Robert Reich.
Robert Reich.
I need to be able to troll him on a regular basis.
Every day, there is something. I'll look over and he's just typing. He's like, what do you do? So Robert Reich said something, and now I'm coming back at him being a midget weasel or whatever you're trying to do.
He's a little person, sir.
He is a little person. I'm sorry. Did I say midget weasel? That was wrong. It's probably not a good thing.
Little weasel.
He's a little fella.
A little weasel. Little weasel.
So somebody said, when's the last time I changed my mind? When they hired Chad Benson for noon to 3. I didn't like you at first, but I've changed my mind. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Sally.
What do you know about that? I like Sally.
Yeah.
Sally's very clever.
I like that. Sally is. There's a lot of clever people out there. Even people that get mad at me. And by the way, no hard feelings. You say, Chad, I hate you. No hard feelings. Right? I don't like you. You're not this, that, and the other. Again, no hard feelings. That's great. We're not everybody's cup of tea because we're having fun. You know, our thing is, I want to talk sometimes about whether or not the abominable snowman could beat up Bigfoot. I don't know. But where are we putting him? Right? Like,
where's the fight going to be? Because if it's in the Himalayas,
well, see, that's just it.
But
right?
if it's in the Northwest woods, maybe Bigfoot has the advantage. But if it's in the Himalayas, maybe the Yeti has the advantage.
I say they do it in the new Titan Stadium when it's completed.
Well, we got to and see. This is a great conversation to have, people. So you guys should debate this at night with your family. If there was going to be a fight, you have to. Do you make it best out of 3 where they each fight in their own zone, and then you have a neutral facility, a neutral place?
I think they should have Bigfoot fight a moose.
That'd be good. I'm telling you, see that movie with Sam Elliott, about Bigfoot.
Sam Elliott was in a movie.
What was the name of it? I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember the name.
Oh my God! This movie, by the way, people, if you want to watch this movie, it is. I'm telling you guys, watch it tonight. It is cool. It is called "The Man Who Killed Hitler, Then Bigfoot," and nobody knows that Sam Elliott actually killed Hitler. But then something's going on, and Bigfoot is basically got a disease that would wipe out humanity. So they hire Sam to come out of retirement. It's a great movie. It's fun. It's absolutely fun.
But isn't that taking a step down after you've killed Hitler?
Well,
aren't you kind of messing up your legacy?
What if it was Bigfoot Hitler?
Well, then you could.
So it's a possibility he could be like, "Hello, sir, I'm Bigfoot Hitler." That's what when Democrats hear Trump, they think he sounds like this. Don't they? Bigfoot Hitler would be hilarious with a little mustache. Bigfoot versus a moose. That'd be a good one. Who'd win that one?
I bet the moose would.
Moose would.
You think? How big is okay, here's the thing. How big is the Yeti?
All right, let's look that up.
There we go. I'll look up the size of Bigfoot.
I always thought Bigfoot was like 8 foot tall or something.
Make sure you both are using extreme scientific sites for this.
Ooh, the Yeti's a big old boy.
How big is the Yeti?
Yeah, 15 feet tall.
Oh, that's be a tough one. The height of Bigfoot would probably be in and around, at the high end, about 12 feet and 500 to 700 pounds. So
yeah, the Yeti's only 400 pounds.
Okay, so
That's
he's
a skinny guy.
He's just a skinny guy. Yeah, so he's got a lot of fur, but not a lot of meat. Where Bigfoot has some weight on him.
Yeah, Bigfoot's got. He would take him.
You
Bigfoot
think?
would take the Yeti. He'd just sit on top of him.
Yeah, that's it.
Choke him out.
So that is. That would be interesting. That's a good thing. We got to see if we can get that. We got to get that going. I mean, if anybody can, we could, right? Like that should be our thing.
We could sell tickets to that. I'm sure the listenership would like to see it.
If you caught a Bigfoot and a Yeti and you threw them together to a fight, the size of that audience would be so massive.
Yeah, you guys need to text in and tell us how much you pay for that ticket.
Whatever you're asking is what it is.
Here's the deal. How many men is it going to take to catch a Yeti and Bigfoot?
That's true.
How many would it take?
So,
well, we'd need trank. I guess we could just trank them.
Trank them, yeah. That's a good idea. Like Oklahoma has a lot of Bigfoot sightings. I never figured out why. It's one of the hot spots.
I don't recall that.
You didn't know that?
I lived in Oklahoma most of my life. Well, no, not anymore. But I don't recall Bigfoot. Now, I know in East Texas growing up, we'd look for Bigfoot in East Texas.
Bigfoot is everywhere.
Because we had that movie came out, The Legend of Boggy Creek.
Oh, what a great movie that was.
It was shot there in western Louisiana and Marshall, Texas, right up on the state line there with Louisiana.
So here it is. Bigfoot has been seen numerous times in Oklahoma.
Really?
The parallel forest in Comanche County.
Interesting.
You didn't know that, huh?
I had no idea.
In fact, they have a festival there. Are you sure you're from Oklahoma?
Yes, I've never heard of a Bigfoot festival in Oklahoma. They got rattlesnake festivals out in western Oklahoma. But
Well, this is a Bigfoot one that takes place, and you need to be a part of this.
I'm
Why
going to
don't we
go
not
to
do it?
that.
We're going to go right there on our way to FatCon. How many fat people would it take for Bigfoot to go down? We'll talk about that. A lot of stuff still to come. We got this guy named Matt Murphy. I know of him. He's going to be coming in, and we'll ask him the pertinent question today, not about the big, beautiful bill, but about the big, beautiful Bigfoot versus the Yeti. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 997. Am I on the show? Am I just doing it for Matt? How you doing, Matt? Fantastic. Where's that? I guess I'll do the show. Matt may or may not be in today. It just might be me, guys. I don't know.
Maybe you got called onto the carpet.
Uh-oh. Probably because he doesn't want to make it. Matt comes across as one of those people that wouldn't pick between the Yeti and Bigfoot. And you can't. You got to make a choice. You do. Although, which one's killed the most? I think the Yeti has, right? Because of that, the Russians. That it was at the Dartloff or Tarloff, up in the mountains when they supposedly that thing murdered those hikers.
Let's see here.
I can't remember the last time Bigfoot.
9 hikers mysteriously died in the Ural Mountains in 1959.
Yeah, that's right.
Linked to the Yeti.
So we know the Yeti is a man killer. See, outside of fighting Steve Austin, I can't remember the time that Bigfoot threw down. Because he did fight Steve Austin.
Yeah, did Bigfoot ever fight the Hulk back in the David Banner? That
David might have
Banner
happened.
days?
That might have happened with Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah, with Lou Ferrigno.
God, that could have happened.
I think Bigfoot did fight the Hulk.
That is a possibility.
Lou Ferrigno.
Goodness me, I couldn't even know who to pick. Because again, if it's on the side of a mountain, remember Bigfoot can fight in the mountainous areas.
Yeah,
but the snow makes it a whole different game.
Yeah, even though he's furry, I don't know if the pads on his feet could handle the ice.
And I've been on the Matterhorn at Disneyland, and I saw the Yeti. I never saw a Bigfoot.
You know what?
What?
Oh, no, that's AI. That's not right.
That's not real.
I'm looking at a picture of Lou Ferrigno as Hulk looking at the Bionic Man's Bigfoot. That's not real.
No. That would have been interesting. Cage match. A cage. Oh, here he comes. Dressed to the nines. He must have had a meeting today.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, dressed to the nines. Boys and girls. Gets no more handsome than this. He rides in high on the horse. 6'1", 193 pounds, undefeated champion of the world, Mad Dog, Matt Murphy.
Hello, everybody.
What's up, brother?
Hi, sorry I'm late.
That's okay. We were talking about who would win, Yeti or Bigfoot in a fight.
Yeti or neither of those things exist.
Well, once again, just like a balanced budget, but we talk about that all day.
Yeah, Brother Murphy, man, he doesn't believe in that
Yeti
stuff.
or Big. So where's the fight?
See, that's what we say. What we're thinking is third fight is neutral, but then one on home.
I feel like home field would be very, very important.
Yeah,
well,
I think so too.
I said the new Titan Stadium once it's built.
Yeah, he wants to throw down there.
Okay, that's an indoor stadium. It's going to be climate controlled. I feel like Bigfoot's got a little bit of an advantage. I feel like the Yeti needs to use that cold as advantage.
That's right.
Or her advantage.
Oh, that's right. Or they, them. We don't know. I'm not here to judge.
Look, there's going to be a documentary later called Under the Fur.
That's right. It's going to be nice.
Have you done it? I mean, I'm sure you've done this long enough. You've done Bigfoot shows, right?
Yeah, well, because I talked about my experience with Bigfoot.
I had
a moment with. We had a situation with Bigfoot when I was younger. To this day, it's still my cousin.
It
and I
haunts
talked
you?
about. Yeah, it was up in Olympia, Washington.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was terrifying as a kid. So but I didn't fight it or anything. I mean, I wanted to.
Well, what happened?
So my uncle and my dad took my little cousin and I. Well, I was 10. He's like 8. They took us fishing, and it was about a 2-hour walk off the beaten path, and there was nothing around. My dad, bad person who probably did a bunch of horrible things. My uncle, Vietnam vet, who did a lot of bad things and was one of those people that would talk to you about Vietnam that you didn't want to hear. And they were armed to the teeth. And we walked about 90 minutes, 2 hours into the middle of nowhere to go fishing.
Mm-hmm.
I never saw so much wildlife in my life. And then about 5 minutes into it, the most putrid smell you've ever heard in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've ever heard in your life?
I mean, smelled. And then this huge boulder, like rock thing, flew into the water. And all the animals disappeared. And then a scream of no animal you've ever heard. And the look on my face of my father... And because I didn't really go to Bigfoot, but the look on the face of my father and my uncle and how they just freaked out, and we left immediately. And they were armed to the teeth.
What about Chupacabra?
What about? Or could have been. Yeah, we weren't in Mexico.
Chupacabra's everywhere, man.
Southwest. We were up in the northwest.
Everywhere.
They had those in Albuquerque.
Did they? You didn't even know a Bigfoot was in Oklahoma. It's a Sooner, baby.
Dude, that completely escaped me. I had no idea that they thought Bigfoot was in Oklahoma.
Do you think if you're a Bigfoot and you come out and you grow up and your feet are a little bit smaller that you have like foot envy?
Probably. Oh, absolutely.
You know,
people like, you got a 15, I wear a 22. Ladies love the 22.
Well, I tell you what,
that's what I hear.
Somebody needs to tell Brent Venables there's Bigfoots in Oklahoma and get him on that offensive line.
That's what I'm talking about. Boomer Sooner. Coming up, Matt Murphy, straight ahead, Chad Benson Show.